Hi everybody, Renegade 67 and or 68 here with some more Let's Play stream Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works of the Blind variety. So last time, Shiro was talking to Shinji, the two she's, and then, it was an awkward conversation. We were like, fine, Sakura can stay at your place. I wasn't thinking it was fine at all, but Shiro said it was fine. I'm like, And then apparently there's a grandfather that exists. So that's probably Makiri. It also means some things and stuff. He might be the real one pulling the strings. Shinji might just be his little magic puppet, as it were. So that's fun. Also, though, we got dragged to a temple magically somehow. It's magically delicious. In the last timeline, this did not happen. Assumption, because Rin was close by, so Caster might have thought there was easier targets because of the Rin conundrum, quite possibly. However, in this case, Rin was not with us, even though she's stronger because of having Archer. So now we're at the temple, and now Saber's like, what? And I'm like, wait, what? Saber gets an interlude? I thought this was Rin's timeline, but yet Saber gets interludes. Does this mean I have a threesome? Probably not. Does this mean interludes are cumulative? Maybe when we get to timeline 3, we get all 3 waifus get interludes. Just feels, I don't know, to me, I feel like Saber's eating into the Rinterlude time. I thought we'd get more Rinterludes. So if Saber still gets interludes, she's hogging the spotlight. How dare you? Do you think you're someone special, Saber? Who do you think you are? Having an interlude with a previous waifu is interesting because we can see how different their mindset is. That's right. She's not distracted by hormones this time. So let's see. Geez, is he still training magic? The golden-haired girl, Saber, sighs. It's good that he's enthusiastic, but he'll collapse unless he rests when he can. Oh, because he usually pulls all-nighters, so you think he's pulling an all-nighter. I understand. And when she decides to go warn him, she realizes her own mistake. Oh no! What's the mistake? Dash, 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 dash? What happened? Is there like a thread of magic lingering from the outside? She gasps after confirming it. The strange feeling isn't coming from Shiro's room. Uh-oh. Under the moonlight. A string. Aha, there is a thingamajigger. Thin as her hair, runs through the darkness. There is a magical string. She just has to cut that string? Well, I don't know. The string is going into Shiro's room from outside. It managed to sneak by the barrier then. Crafty, crafty. A thin string that even the boundary field here did not catch. It's like what they say about how, I forget the whole analogy, and that'll get gross if I don't talk about it correctly. So never mind. Barriers don't always catch things. If they're supposed to catch one thing, they might not catch the other. I was going to make a dirty analogy, but I'm not going to now. So you can you can make it with your imagination. A thin string that even the boundary field here did not catch. Dash. There's no time to think. I think there's always time to think. Especially if you're Shiro and you get to slightly slow down time while you think. Maybe these strings did come into Shiro's house in last timeline, but Rin just shot him down. If they did, she never told Shiro about it. That's bad communication. I suppose they could have come in and Rin just dealt with them and didn't say anything. But I mean, come on, Rin. Talk to me, please. I don't know. I'd like to think... I don't know, I think Caster didn't bother because she realized they'd probably got cut down. And so she just focused her time on building up her energy more, probably. Or maybe she was even dealing with the Shinji distraction, because Shinji was clearly doing some nonsense over there. He may or may not still be doing it. So maybe she was like, I don't know. There's no time to think. The girl turns into a knight. Because she wasn't already. In an instant, and runs outside. She runs through the empty town. There's no hesitation in Saber as she runs. She knows where she must go. How? How do you know? You just sense a feeling? Or do you sense it from Shiro? You sense it, like, do you get an actual feeling from the thing, like, oh, this is temple magic? Or do you, like, actually, is it because of your Shiro sense and your connection? Probably Shiro connection, I would assume. She only needs to follow the string. Oh, nope, she's following the string. I understand. The beat of her master. The only thing she has to do is run as fast as she can. What if it's a trap? It's not. Maybe it is. But, you know, what if it's a trap? It makes no difference whether her destination is the enemy's territory nor how many traps might await her. Oh, you acknowledge it could be a trap and you're like, fuck it. Yeah, I guess that sounds a bit like Saber. If someone's in trouble, I'll run into the trap. It's fine, I fall into the trap if I save someone doing it. But, you know, if you're smart, you could walk around the trap and save them instead of falling into the trap, and then you're both fucked. But I know, you have instincts, and you have, like, danger sense or whatever, so... She has sworn to protect her master. So anything that might befall her is negligible. Unless she can't protect her master because of the thing that befalls her. Whatever. Dash, dash, dash. It is a mountain stained with vast amounts of magical energy. Ghosts of the dead are flying above like crows. And the trees are covered with invisible blood. That sounds pretty. Ooh. You know, if they paint it well. The collected magical energy, the stolen souls, remains here. And the mountain should consume anyone that may approach it. Any normal person, maybe. The temple makes going around traps kind of impossible. Well, you say you can only go through the gate, but, like, how true is that? It seems like there's an open, like, the top is open. Couldn't you just jump over the gate? Maybe I'm having a misunderstanding of what this temple actually looks like, but, like, no, I'm pretty sure it's open. Like, from when we see a shot of inside the courtyard, it's, like, open. I think you could just jump over it. You don't have to go through the gate. Anyways, there probably are traps, but, you know, shut up. If there's such a thing as a place to die, this place is a perfect example. Dash, dash, dash. Do you still run into Assassin, I wonder? If you were gonna run into Assassin, I feel like now would be the time. She goes in without hesitation. She had no intention to stop from the start. If this place is hell, she has to save her master all the more. She runs up the stone stairs. The traps she anticipated are not there, because there's just an assassin. Assassin is the trap. The mountain gate is within her view, and she should reach it with one more kick from her magical energy-filled legs. Oh, there's no dash. You don't get cut off, then? Dash, 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 dash. Your advance stops right there. Okay, there is an assassin. Is that what this is? I would assume. We had a whole exposition scene in the Fate route where they talk about how there's a magic field around the temple where the servant literally cannot enter it besides the gate. Oh, I see. There's like a magical thing making it impossible because of magical high metachlorian counts that repel magic. Kind of like how, you know, if you have naturally high magic, a magical spell is hard to, you know, go into your mind like they were talking about because of just your naturally high magicalness. And so this is her extent of that, so you can only go in the crack. I guess that makes sense, especially, but it's very much a trap mentality of that's the only opening. Obviously it's a trap, but that's the only opening. Because in theory you could just make a whole magical wall around the entire thing. Maybe you'd have to take it off and on for yourself to go through it. Can like Castor, for example, go through the other parts herself? Or is she also restricted to only go through the gate entrance is an interesting question. Because if she has to also go by the same laws, then I could totally understand her leaving an opening, as opposed to, you know, just having it all closed all the time and opening it temporarily, you know, whenever. Yes, you can have a trap, but also you could just leave it all closed so that they can never get in, right? So... It's more like because they're spirits. Also, another reason why Castor made this her base and why the whole alliance... Right, because of the actual magical power. Oh, a spirit... Religion. Oh, sure, religion. Couldn't make it a full field around the temple because it would fully cut the magic coming in and out. I see. That makes sense. They can only draw in magic if they have a funnel point. I understand. So they couldn't make a full protection, or they wouldn't be able to draw. I understand. So they had to leave an opening, so they trapped the opening. That makes strategical sense. I'll buy it. That makes logical sense. No, to stop by the enemy. On the stairs leading to the mountain gate. Alright, so Assassin is here. Which means Archer probably still saves us, unless she can get through this guy better than she did in the last time she came here. Stands a servant. Because we definitely had to retreat last time. He was totally winning that fight. His name is Sasaki Kojiro. Well, yeah, how do you know that? He hasn't told you yet. You just know? I thought he's not well known. What? Servant assassin, the protector of the Ryudo Temple, wielding the long sword Monohoshizao. Oh, just from the sword? So you just knew who he was instantly? I don't remember if that was the case last time, but sure, whatever. I thought he just announced his name because he was honorable or something. Maybe not. Dash, dash. Saber's mind is disturbed as she readies her invisible heir. Her master's on the other side of the mountain gate. Maybe now that, you know, the master she needs to save is, you know, beyond the gate as opposed to being a reckless approach, she can be more determined and focused to actually win this fight? Possibly. The servant in front of her is way too strange. He reveals his true name willingly. Does he? Oh, how do you... When? Now? When? He does not have a stance, and his cool anonymity is transparent. I thought this was essentially Saber's inner monologue, but it was using... I always get these confused. First person to third, or the other way around? This is suggesting it's not inner monologue. No. It's actual narration. From her perspective, but it still knows other things. Like stuff like Sasaki Kojiro. Right. Okay. Do I want the same scene from Fate again? I want it to make logical sense. I'm just trying to understand if this is actually her mind reading stuff, or if it's a summary and we never go inside her mind. This is suggesting we don't go inside her mind if it was Sasaki Kojiro before he even gave the summary, or he just gave the summary already off screen. But you know, it's not that hard for him to go, I am Sasaki Kojiro. That's all they needed. They just needed like one line. So this is suggesting that it's just a summary and we don't go inside her mind much. Anyways, his cool enmity is transparent. Dash, dash, dash. Oh, I see. That's what the dashes mean. Okay, that's confusing because the game uses dashes for different reasons. So if the idea behind the dashes is that they're summarizing things... Well, okay, that's not what it is, because if it was... Oh, wait, yes it was. Wait, hold on. It's a mountain stained with vast amounts. Maybe that is what the dashes mean in these cases. Well, then the dashes are being used for different reasons, I feel, but... Too many dashes. She cannot figure out his power because of his transparency. She can see his power as a servant. Assassin is not a strong servant, so it should be easy to defeat him. But her instincts are telling her something different. That she cannot beat him in a normal duel. It should be normally the opposite for an assassin. He's such a weirdo. I do not have any business with you. Move, assassin. Asashi. Yeah, it feels so backwards. Like, I remember thinking that Ryder feels a lot more like an assassin based on the way, you know, she attacked me in the forest and all that. The way she fights, much more than this assassin who let us go because it was, like, honorable and doesn't try to snipe her or anything, but stands out in the open, as opposed to Ryder, who I believe, yeah, was trying to snipe me in the first time as we were fighting assassins, so, you know, some of these roles feel a little off, but... She suppresses the strange unease and glares at Asashi. There's only one more step until they are both within range. Up or down. If either one moves, a fatal attack should be executed. Execute Order 69.
どけと言ったのだ、アサシ。
Did you not hear me? I told you to move, Asashi. Her final warning. The swordsman with a long sword calmly responds to her words.
そうか。この門を通りたいのだな、セイバー。
Sounds like that could be a lower-pitched Gilgamesh voice. Similar range. I see. So you would like to pass this mountain gate, Saber. Saber. Dash. Her green eyes glare at Assassin for asking such a foolish question. He must like the answer. Ooh. The long sword dances through the night in an arc.
ならば押し通れ。急がねば。お前の主人とやらの命はないぞ。
Then force your way through. You should hurry, or your master's life will be gone. He laughs in a cool manner.
アサシン。
Oh, there's a little N at the end there, yeah. Asashin. Just at the very end. Very tippy end of the line. I've been saying Asashi for a while, but yeah, there is just a tiny bit of Asashi. Gil and Assassin have some similarities. They both like powerful women. That's true, though Assassin seems much more of an honorable person. The green and purples clash. Saber charges in reply. So, do we have an assassin now? Assassin? No, we have not wised up with Assassin yet. What about weapons? We still have just the two? Oh. The longsword comes down at her at the same moment, and she repels it with her invisible sword. The clash of the swords echo through the summit. Their powers are equal, but that is not an advantage for her. Kuh! Oh, because Shiro hasn't met Assassin, that's why there's no update screen? So it's just based on Shiro's experiences? Is that true from Timeline 1? I don't remember. Did we not get a... No, I feel like we got an up... That's right. It only updates... I think if memory serves, like, when it goes back to Shiro, if there's any new information, that's when it all gets updated. Not necessarily that it doesn't update from other people's perspectives, just that I believe if memory serves, it only updates when it comes back to Shiro, I think. Anyway, she's impatient. The enemy she must quickly defeat is a strong one that would be hard to beat even without any time constraints. Oh no, what are you gonna do? Maybe this is when Rin shows up. I don't know. Shiro, please. She grits her teeth and prays. I mean, maybe me sensing that Saber's close by could also just give me super awesome powers. It would just make more sense narratively for Rin to show up because we know she's been on to Castor's Tale anyways. That opening, that excess part of her is permitting her body. Permeating even. Ooh. Nice flash. Nice face reveal. The battle does not end. The mountain gate is too far away. Assassin's got it much better because he doesn't even have to try to win this fight. He just needs to delay. Whereas Saber needs to desperately win, which is made even harder if Assassin is actively just on the defense. Rin's busy taking a hot bath. Ooh, that sounds like a nice fan service. Can we have a little rinterlude to that? But we probably wouldn't get a look at Rin if it was a rinterlude. Then have an archerlude, and he can be peeping on her. The mountain gate is too far away. Okay. Is that the end of the interlude? Interlude out! Oh, we're back to Shiro then? Castor extends her finger. Now is it updated? No. I am incorrect about how this works then. Alright. I thought that was a thing in Timeline 1. Maybe because I have to meet back up with Saber first, and then off-screen the idea she tells me stuff. I thought that was a thing, but eh. Castor extends her finger. Giggity. I want to fight back. My body will not move. My limbs can't move freely, and my senses are being taken away. I'm sure she will eliminate me.
さよなら坊や。悔やむのなら、その程度の力量でマスターになったことを悔やみなさい。
Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog. I love that they. That's where I think I first heard Sayonara was in Sonic Adventure 2. It made it such an easy Japanese word for me to learn because I already kind of learned the meaning in Japanese. I mean, in English, but like, anyways. Goodbye, boya. If you're going to mourn that you become a master with such small skills. Sure, that's, I mean, you know, I don't need a reason to mourn. I can just, you know, shut up. I'll mourn that, you know, you're such a bitch. How about that? Ilya killing me is way better. My body does not move and accepts the finger of death. Ooh. I resist the urge to close my eyes and keep glaring at Castor.
あら、いい子ね。そういう頑張りは嫌いではありませんよ。
Wow, you're a good boy. I like such good efforts. It makes the victory more worth it. Castor sneers at my resistance and puts her finger on my command spell. Ooh, green vision, that's fun. Oh! Even my free will is numbling. In my fading consciousness. Clang! I hear a sound, like crashing swords, from the other side of the mountain gate. Interlude again? Oh, no, those are arrows! Archer! Dash, dash, dash. What kind of a miracle is it? I hear tens of sounds cutting through the air, and numerous arrows pierce the ground in front of me. Archer to the rescue! He has to save himself from the future past, of course. If he doesn't save himself from the future past, he won't be alive to save himself in the future past. Castor instantly retreats, her robe fluttering behind her. Nani? There are arrows pierced in the ground in front of Castor. The 13 arrows were shot from, of course, it would be 13, a fancy number. It can't be some random number like 11. They were probably all shot at the same time, and I'm sure it would have gotten Castor if there had been one more arrow. Oh, so he should have shot 14, of course. He didn't kill her on purpose because he wants to do what he did last time. He hit Castor and Saber and maybe Assassin all killed at once? Sure. The owner of the arrows is standing on top of the mountain gate. The knight in red jumps down to the ground, empty-handed. I mean, do you really want to get so close, Archer? I guess to be fair, this is only Castor, who's better at long range anyways, so you're probably better in the close range circumstance. The long range to, you know, get me out of trouble is fine, but you're probably better than her in close range for sure. But then again, we remember that she did some fancy-wancy-mancy stuff when Saber tried to fight her close range. But that might be because she finished building up her whatever majigger. So, you know, maybe she hasn't finished building up her whatever majigger and can't do her, like, body snatch or whatever it was that made her so dangerous. From a strategic point of view, Castor getting Saber is a very bad thing for Archer. I suppose. I mean, Castor getting Archer would be a bad thing for Saber, I feel, but I don't know.
とうに命はないと思ったが、存外にしぶといのだな。
I thought you'd be dead by now, but I guess you're pretty tenacious. Oh, let me guess. I was hoping that I would shoot her just as she killed you, so that way you'd already be out of our business. I was just a little bit off that you just barely survived. Saber getting a competent master who can inspire with magical energy is bad. Oh, you mean with Castor? Yeah, sure. I mean, Castor, the master, isn't really a master, but I guess she's her own master in a way. The man. Well, she said she has a master. So what's the deal with her master? Did she really kill him later on? Or her? Questions. Archer says so, standing in front of me as if to protect me from Castor. You have to babysit me on Ren's account, right? You... Why? I thought we didn't like each other or whatever. We have a tsundere relationship. Oh, I thought that was Rin.
何ただの通りがかりだ。あまり気にするな。
That is such a tsundere response. I just happened to drop by, don't worry about it. Well, they do say the people summoned are like their masters, and Rin is the tsundere, so, you know.
で、体はどうだ？キャスターの意図なら、今ので立ったはずだが。
So how's your body? I should have cut Castor's strings with that attack. Archer's a way bigger tsundere than Rin. I mean, Rin's a pretty big tsundere, but yeah, I suppose. Eh? After he says so, I check my hand. It moves! My frozen body has its freedom returned with just one attack by Archer.
動く。キャスターの呪縛は解けた。けど、
It moves. Castor's binding is gone, but...
それは結構。あとは好きにしろ。と言いたいところだが、あれに殺されたくなければ、しばらくそこから動かぬことだ。あまり考えなしに動くと。
That's good. Do what you want now. Or so I would like to say, but... Do not move if you don't want to be killed by her. If you move recklessly, you'll have to die, and I need to babysit you because of Rin. Even though I don't want to. Baka. I'd definitely be fine if you died. Baka.
アーチャーですって？アサシンめ何をしていたの？
Archer! What is Assassin doing? First of all, he's distracted. Second of all, I mean, you know, Archer's a cool bro. He could probably sneak past Assassin because he's, I don't know, got those weird, crazy abilities. I don't know where I'm going with that. Archer's cool.
そら、見ての通り、八つ当たりを食らうことになる。
Archer X Shiro's the best ship. After all, they are the same person. See, she'll take her anger on you.
女の劇場というのは、なかなかに凝しがたい。まったく、少しばかり手荒いことになりそうだ。
A woman's fury is hard to control. Man, I think this'll get rough. You know, awkward around the women. I know you're awkward around Saber because there's a relation there. You prefer fighting the men to fighting the women? Well, at least you got killed by Berserker. He was a man in Timeline 1, so does that make you feel better? Archer laughs. I can't tell how serious he is. You can see a little bit of that sexism there. I have no idea who Assassin's Master is yet. No, I do not. I mean, I have guesses. I've laid out guesses. What was my guess last time I checked? I think I laid out that my guess is it's someone I haven't met yet. It'd be like there's like someone who survived the attack. There was like a house where a bunch of family got murdered except for one person. And my guess is that one person is like Assassin's Master because the blade that killed them, it was supposed to be like a bladed weapon or something. So I was thinking, oh, they might be Assassin's Master. And they summoned Assassin. And they ended up teaming up with Castor because they're probably an inexperienced master. And then they get betrayed later when Castor kills them when they're done with them. That's my current ongoing theory about the Timeline 1 events. But don't know. Don't know who Assassin's Master is. Don't know who Castor's Master is. I can't tell how serious he is. Archer laughs.
さて、そう怒るな、キャスター。
Well, don't get too mad, Castor. Fight song, let's go!
アサシンならば、セイバーと対峙している。あの侍、何者かは知らんが、セイバーを押しとどめるとは大した剣豪だ。
Assassin is fighting Saber right now. I do not know who that samurai is, but he's a strong swordsman to keep Saber at bay.
むしろ褒めてやるべきではないか。
Should you not praise him instead? Even though he's facing his enemy, there's no tension in Archer. Ooh, he feels confident. I wonder what Rin is up to at the moment. Castor must have noticed that as well as she regains her calm. Oh, I see. Not wanting to lose in terms of keeping their cool. She has to, you know, be better than everyone, as it were.
ふざけたことを。あなたを止められないようでは英雄などとは呼べない。あの男、剣豪を名乗らせるには実力不足です。
Stop with that ridiculous talk. You cannot call him a heroic spirit if he cannot stop you. He's not strong enough to be called a swordsman. I suppose. Are you strong to be called a caster if you couldn't stop Archer either? Are you going to make the excuse that, oh no, that was his job? No, it's okay. You betrayed him later off screen, so, you know, you deserve getting a little screwed by him. I assume you betrayed him later off screen. I could be wrong about that, but I think that was the implication. Unless Gilgamesh killed him, but then Caster didn't know about Gilgamesh, which seems weird. Or she did and didn't say anything. So I feel like Caster probably betrayed him, but I don't know.
ほう、その言いぶり。アサシンが自分の仲間だとでも言いたげだが、やはり協力し合っているのか、君たちのマスターは。
Swallowed the wrong... down the wrong throat. I've just accepted that I'm going to say that now, and it's not... I mean, goes down the wrong tube, but I've accepted that I'm going to say goes down the wrong throat when the water does that in my mouth. Throat. You sound like Assassin is your ally. So your masters must be cooperating. I mean, I feel like that was pretty obvious.
そうでなくてはこの状況に説明がつかん。一つの場所に二人のサーバントが今日構えるなどとな。
There was no other explanation to the situation of having two servants in the same place. Well, joke's on you. We're also cooperating, so it's a 2-on-2 party. Caster staring at Archer silently. I can't see her expression hidden behind the robe, but it seems she is bewildered.
あーちゃん、今の本当か？アサシンとキャスターのマスターが協力し合ってるって。
Is that true, Archer? That Assassin's Master and Caster's Master are cooperating? A team up? That sounds unprecedented! We're in a team up. Oh! Right.
ああ。門の外を守るアサシンと門の内に潜むキャスター。この両者が協力関係なのは明白だろう。
Yes, Assassin is guarding outside the gate, and Caster is hiding behind the gate. It is obvious that they are cooperating.
マスター同士が協力し合うのも珍しいことではない。
Yeah.
現に、お前とリンとで手を結んでいる。
Just business. It's not rare for masters to team up. You and Rare are cooperating to give an example, even though you're against it. Only good guys get team ups, Archer. Yeah, exactly. Bad guys can't team up because that means they're all bad guys. That's what it means, right? That's what it has to mean. A bad guy cooperating and can't cooperate with a good guy? That's impossible. There's no such thing as moral grading. Moral grading. Oh, he really said oh at the end. Are you kidding me, Shiro? Come on. Oh, your timeline 1 is showing. He's right now that he mentions it. Then that means there are 2 masters here. Well, you'd be the 3rd master, theoretically. Possibly. Are there 2 masters here? Possibly. Are there any masters who we've already met just don't know that we've met? Or are they both going to be new reveals? Or maybe one's a new reveal, one we've met. I feel like at least one of them is going to be someone we haven't met before. Shiro ain't in the best state of mind. Sure, but like, I have high standards after, you know, he's passed the timeline 1, so like, you know, after seeing the timeline 1, whenever there's a little bit of a thing that's like, is he being stupid again? I have to throw that in there. No more benefit of the doubt. No benefit of the doubt until timeline 3. Oh, they totally could be having a vacation, especially if Caster is as good at self-control as she seems to be later on after acting without even having a master.
何を言い出すかと思えば、随分と的外れなことを言うのね、アーチャー。
I was wondering what you're going to say, but you're so off, Archer. Oh, let me guess. You're going to say you're controlling Assassin? Are you controlling Assassin the same way maybe you were planning to control Saber by taking my command spells? Have you already killed Assassin's master? Is that what's happening here? Or that he's been taken hostage in some way, he or she. And so that's why Assassin is being forced to work for you. That would make sense. You do seem like the kind of person that would want to be better than everyone. You would never work with someone. You would force them to work for you. I could see that.
なんだ違ったか参ったな君たちが仲間だというのは確信だったのだが
Oh, was I wrong? Man, I was confident that you two are allies. Ally is one word, subordinate is another.
ええ、見当違いも甚だしいわ。
Yes, you are terribly wrong. That makes sense. It was weird. I thought it was weird. Castor does seem like a, kind of an evil bitch. And Assassin seems like kind of a cool guy, despite the fact that his alignment calls him evil. So I was thinking it was weird that they were teaming up. It makes a lot of sense if she has leverage on him and he's being forced to cooperate. That makes a lot of sense to me. And then at the end, she just kills him when he has no more use for him. And that's why he dies off screen. So it wasn't just her betraying him, if that's the case at the end. It was just, she was, betrayed him from the start, as it were.
仲間ですって？私があの犬と協力し合う？私の手駒に過ぎないあの男と？
Right, so that is roughly what's going on. Allies, I'd cooperate with that dog, with that man that's under my control. Okay, so whoever Assassin's Master is was probably actually the real weakest link, even weaker than Shiro possibly. Or she was close by when Castor was first summoned, so they went straight for them first. Her laugh is so unsuitable that the tense atmosphere disperses. In contrast, Archer is gritting his teeth. Ooh, does that make him unhappy? Does he have experience? Or does he not like, he doesn't like servants. He doesn't like the idea of heroic spirits being controlled in this way. He didn't even like the idea of being against his will forced into this Grail war. Right, so it would go in line then that, he likes the idea of freedom and being allowed to choose the destiny or whatever and not being controlled. So hearing that another heroic spirit is being controlled like that probably perturbs him greatly, I would assume. Dash. Because, he thinks they should be allowed to rest after, or do what they want after, saving everyone during their course of their lives or whatever. I sensed something that was not there before. Anger? Did Archer get angry at that sentiment? It is not Castor's enmity, nor the magical energy surrounding this place. Is it Archer's fury? For the first time since he came to this place, Archer is showing his enmity.
そう、あなたの予感は正しいですよ、アーチャー。
Yes, your guess is correct, Archer.
私のマスターは誰とも手を組んでなどいないし、アサシンのマスターも同じ。
My master is not cooperating with anybody, and the same goes for Assassin's Master.
いいえ、そもそもアサシンにマスターなど存在しないのですからね。
No, first of all, Assassin does not have a master. Ah, I see. So, yeah, you Shiro'd him. You Shiro'd Assassin's Master, and you're planning to do the same thing, control Saber like how you're already controlling Assassin? So their master is already dead? How long have they been dead? Is there any chance that we can see them, or are they only just going to be dead the whole time, I wonder? Nani? Assassin doesn't have a master? But Castor apparently does? And she just kills him later when she doesn't need him anymore? What does that mean? Every servant needs a master to exist. Weren't they supposed to disappear if they didn't have a supply of magical energy from their master? Castor has her own supply she can give them, I'm sure. Yeah.
キャスター貴様ルールを破ったな
Castor, you broke the rule. What's the rule exactly?
まさかルールを破ってなどいませんわ。だってサーバントを呼び出すのは魔術師でしょ？
Of course not. I haven't broken the rule. Magi summon the servants, right? So the Magi summon the servant and you just killed him right away, or what's the deal?
ならキャスターである私がサーバントを呼び出して何の不都合があるのです？
Excuse me? What is wrong with Castor, a magus, summoning a servant? What? Wait, what? Okay, that does sound like you're breaking a rule. What? That definitely sounds like cheating. How does that work? So, if your master wins, you win as the servant, but then you can win as a master? What? Excuse me? Nani? What does your master have to say about that? So there aren't 7 masters, there's only 6? Eh? Nandesu ka? So Assassin just never had a master? Not even a dead master? Just... What? That is very weird. The witch in the black robe laughs. She is a Magus, but like... What? Dash. That means... Servant Assassin's a heroic spirit summoned by Caster. And her energy is just flowing from her master. So is her master playing double duty? I mean, I know that she's got magical energy, but she still has to get it from her master. In theory, I know she can break some rules because she's a Magus, but like... But does the magical energy not have to all come in some way from the initial master that summoned Caster? Doesn't that mean they're playing double duty to some extent? I know she's drawing in a lot of magical energy, so she can probably afford to cheat. But is that what's happening? In that case, it's kind of like what's happening with Kirei. Because Kirei's kind of got 2 servants. He's got, you know, Lancer, but also Archer, and so he needed the children to fuel them both. So I guess it's sort of a similar situation, but at least there it's one master supplying 2 servants with an excess of energy. Here it's like a servant supplying another servant because of the excess of... That's weird! How does it count if Assassin wins? Are you the master in that case? Is there a difference? That's weird! That's weird! I've said it before, but this game very much likes to introduce the idea of rules and then not even follow through with them on the introductory example. You know, the whole idea of the roles, even. Like, you know, Assassin, Caster, Archer, etc. Like, they feel so much like breaks from what you'd expect based on the idea that they even give these roles. A lot of the roles in Fate Zero felt more akin to what the roles would actually be than the roles here, for example. I mean, I don't think Caster would ever even let Assassin win, even if it's technically possible for Assassin to win. Servant Assassin's a heroic spirit summoned by Caster.
サーバントを操るサーバントか。なるほど。ならばこその架空の英雄か。
A servant who controls a servant, huh? I see. That's why he's a fictional hero. Oh, so he's based on someone not real? You just... What? I mean, what's the point in that, though? I mean, wouldn't you want... I mean, does it make it them easier to control if they're based on someone not real?
まっとうなマスターに呼び出されなかったアサシンは本来呼ばれるべき暗殺者以外のものをアサシンにしてしまった。それは構わん。元となる英霊が誰であろうと敵は倒すのみ。
An assassin was summoned by an improper master. Someone other than the proper assassin was summoned. He does seem weird for an assassin. Why is he so honorable? Like they say, oh, evil alignment makes sense. He was summoned by her, but he seems so fucking honorable. What's the deal with that? I don't mind that. It doesn't concern me who the heroic spirit is. I only need to defeat them. Do I get, like, status? Are we wised up about assassin yet? No. This is weird. This is weird. Caster, you're weird.
だが、それは貴様の独断ではないのか、キャスター。
But I'm sure this is all under your judgment, is it not, Caster? That still kind of freaks me out whenever they say a name in the voices, but not in the text, but... I guess the idea... I mean, I know what the idea is. The idea is that I'm sure this is all under... The your, essentially, would be Caster in the Japanese version because they tend to say names instead of you because it's more polite. But you know.
聞きましょう。なぜそのような結論が出せるのです、アー
Let
チャ
me
ー。
ask you, how did you arrive at that conclusion, Archer? Wait, why are you freaked out? What conclusion? Because you just told him. What are you talking about? What? An assassin was summoned by an improper master, someone other than... Oh, you mean the fact that he's make-believe and not a real hero? Is that the conclusion? It's like, how did you know? Because he just has a sense for these things? He just knows? He's just a Super Saiyan who just knows? All under your judgment. I guess that is a thing he knows he's not supposed to. I was just kind of letting it go over me and like, okay, he knows. Sure.
何ただの直感だよ。マスターとは魔術師だ。
It's just a hunch. Masters are magi.
その魔術師が自分より優れた魔術師を使い魔にした場合、そこにあるのはただの主従関係ではあるまい。
It's just a hunch. When a magus summons a familiar that is superior to him, I'm sure the relationship isn't that of a servant and master. A magus summons a familiar that is superior to him, isn't that of a servant and master. So it's just servant and wait, master and wait, what? But you didn't summon. Caster would have summoned a servant not stronger than herself, or I don't get quite what you're saying, but sure.
マスターが自身より優れたキャスターを警戒するのは当然だ。
It's natural for the master to be on his guard against a familiar of greater power. Sure.
私が貴様のマスターであるのなら、魔女に自由など与えない。マスター本人ではなく、貴様だけの手足となるサーバントの召喚など。
Oh, that's what you're getting at. Right, yeah, sure, makes sense. If I were your master, I would not give any freedom to a witch. There is no way he would allow you to summon a servant that would only obey your orders. Yeah, that is very weird. So, whoever the master was that summoned her probably got fucked over? Given that she apparently kills him later, that does not surprise me in the slightest, but...
それなりの知恵は働くようですね、アーチャー。
It seems you have some intelligence, Archer.
いいわ。その賢さに免じて、今の暴言は聞き流しましょう。
Alright, I shall dismiss your insult in deference to your cleverness. Archer is a clever boy. Caster stares at Archer as she laughs. There's only enmity between the two now. Despite the fact that she's laughing about it. I hate you, you hate me, we get to have mutual hate. They're about 7 meters apart. With the charge that Archer showed at school, he should be able to slash Caster even before she can finish casting a spell. She doesn't even need to take time to cast though, right? She has like instant cast or whatever. It's one of her abilities, right? Status, caster, details. No, it's in skills. High speed, define language, yeah. Without, yeah.
納得がいった。セイバーやランサー、ライダーは強力な対魔力を持っている。ここの男の高魔力など比べ物にならない。
I understand now. Saber, Lancer, and Rider have strong magic resistance. It's on a different level from this guy behind me. Well, of course. This guy behind you just an ordinary master, right? He's no one special, right?
彼らにはあらゆる魔術が効きづらい。故に魔術師である君では彼らに太刀打ちできない。
It is hard to affect them with magic, therefore you cannot match them since you are a magus. So she summoned her own servant that can match them?
となれば策略に走るのは当然だったな。
Then it's only natural for you to resort to tactics.
ルールを破り、自らの手でアサシンのサーバントを呼ぶ。
You broke the rules to summon servant assassin.
この土地に今日構え、町の人間から魂を収集する。
You created your territory here and collected souls from the people in this town.
自らは戦わず、町中に張った目で戦況を把握する。
You don't fight yourself and merely observe the progress of the war, unless you can take easy pickings, like Shiro, until the end of the war when you're fully prepped to do your awesome super move to steal Saber. I mean, it's a fine strategy if you have a good line of defenses and you're, building lots of power.
これだけのことをするのだ。当然、自分のマスターは拘束しているのだろうな。
You talking about me?
だけのマスターのように、とっくに操り人形という。
I'm no puppet, thank you very much. You go, I mean, I assume I'm not, unless you know something I don't know, Archer. You go so far. So I assume you must have your master restrained. I'm sure he's a puppet like this stupid master here. Oh, you mean how he was just restrained just now and Caster was going to use him. I see what you're saying. Her master is just restrained, but as in still restrained constantly. Yeah, that sounds about right. Wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, whoever the master was that summoned her probably got fucked over big time. Although the servant you summoned is supposed to be similar in personality-ish, so whoever summoned them probably wasn't a very good person, so I shouldn't have to feel that bad for them? I don't know. She smiles. So, if Assassin doesn't have a real master, but Caster does have a master, is Kazuki... Hold on, we talked about this before, because if we go to config... Frickin' what's his name? Yeah, Kazuki Soichiro. He's so unimportant. Why does he get his own portrait? Maybe he's Caster's master, but then he's not actually. If he's restrained, it's magical restraints. I don't know. That was the theory, is that Kazuki was some kind of master. It just felt right. But now we have, even one less master in the mix. So maybe that's wrong, and he does have some important point otherwise. But so far, it's just, why does he even have a portrait? Because we know we have characters that don't have portraits. So I'm just like, what is he doing there? And even beyond him having a portrait, what is his purpose in the narrative? At least the girls can act as, the side girls who don't have portraits can act as comic relief to an extent. He doesn't comic relief, so what's his purpose? She smiles. That sends a chill up my spine. Oh, hey, that means we have another female master. If Caster's a master, we got Elia, Rin, didn't we have a third female? Oh, I'm crazy. No. Saber is a servant, not a master. But Caster would make a third female master. And then technically Lance's original master was female from what we heard, so that does mean a majority of females. But if we count Kirei, then it's Kirei, Shinji is 2 males. Wait. Who am I forgetting? Rin, Elia, Caster. Right, Shiro! I'm forgetting Shiro, of course. Shinji, Kirei, Shiro. So it's 3-3, and then Caster's master would break the tie in theory. Sends a chill up my spine. She's not only collecting magical energy from the people in town. She's even treating her master as an object, like she treated me. She's definitely a bad person you need to beat for sure. Dash, 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 dash. Caster's dangerous. For sure. And she got wharfed big time in Timeline 1 by Gilly. Where's Gilly when you need him? Just take her out. That'd be convenient for us. She's not a pure threat like Berserker, but she is the most troublesome enemy as she worsens the situation without showing herself. And she has possibly the worst intentions.
ええ、あなたは正しいわ、アーチャー。
Yes, you're right, Archer.
けれど私があなたたちにかなわないというのは間違いよ。
But you're wrong if you think I'll be no match for you.
聖杯戦争に勝つことなんて簡単ですもの。
It's easy for me to win the Holy Grail War. Well, except for that cheater Gilgamesh, but you know, we don't talk about him here.
私が手を尽くしているのは単にその後を考えているだけ。あなたたちを恐れて策を浪しているわけではないわ。
I'm working hard because I'm thinking about what comes after. I'm not working out a strategy in fear of you people. Oh yes, after when you have to fight the whole Magic Association because you want to take over the world or something generic like that, right?
ほう。サーバントを倒すのはたやすいと言ったな、キャスター。
So you say
逃げ
it's
回るだけ
easy
が取り柄の魔女が
to defeat us
よ
servants?
く言った。
Well said, for which that only runs away. Well, she wasn't physically there last time. Here she's physically here, so you have no proof she'll run away. She's always seemed pretty stationed at this temple until she made her move on Saber at the end of the Pathway Timeline 1, so, You know, if she actually runs from the temple, then you'd have something to mean, but she would have won the war in Timeline 1 if Gil didn't exist? Probably she would have taken out Saber, and then it would have just been Lancer. But Lancer was controlled by Kira, so it's kind of hard to separate them, unless you think of Lancer as just his original master, and then it's hard to say. But yeah, probably.
言ったわ。ここなら私は誰よりも強いもの。バーサーカーやセイバーならいざ知らず。アーチャー程度ではかすり傷さえ負わせられないでしょ。
I did say so. I'm stronger than anyone here. Saber and Berserker aside, you shouldn't even be able to scratch me. Oh, underestimating Archer, are we? You think he's kind of mincemeat compared to Saber and Berserker? Again, I'm surprised that you count Berserker as one of the harder ones, given how he does not have magic resistance, but you know. So you're counting those two as the betterest, and but are you underestimating Archer just because you don't know enough, or do you actually sense his powers and think he's not very good? But if that's the case, again, there's a Shiro relation, because people would sense Shiro and think he's not very good, but he's secretly super special. Awesome.
それより、あなたの方こそ逃げる算段を立てなさい。
Everyone loves Saber and underestimates Archer. Doesn't it just be the life? You should be the one thinking about running away.
一度目は許した。けれど二度目はなくてよ。
I did forgive you the first time, but there won't be a second time. What, just run away and leave the boy? Nah.
私を魔女と呼んだ者には相応の罰を与えます。
I mean, everyone does love them their Saber, like, ooh, Saber best girl. Yes, even the girls think so. I'll give an appropriate punishment to those who call me a witch. Ah, so that's a touchy button for you. You don't like being called a witch, huh? Probably because you were an actual witch in the witch trials, and they witched you, and you're like, don't witch me! And you were a witch, and so it's a touchy subject, I see. Or you prefer to be called, what, a sorceress? Caster's robe distorts. The magical energy in the air becomes a dense fog and covers Caster's body. With it in front of him...
面白い。かすり傷さえ負わぬと言ったな。
This shall be interesting. Omoshiroi. You say I can't even put a scratch on you? Archer murmurs in delight. Ooh, pretty.
ええ。あなたでは私に触れることさえできないでしょう。
Yes, you will not be even able to touch me. Is that true? Probably not. He was able to, you know, kill Berserker 6 times when he was wounded, and that was pretty good. Archer v Caster. Dawn of Enmity. Okay. Yeah, so I think we are... Ooh, this is perfect, actually. This is in a little bit of a lull after the battle music. There's no music, so this is actually a good place for me to throw up that there intermission. Yes, okay, so you will not even be able to touch me, says Caster. Right. The Black Shadow answers. The Knight in Red laughs. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
では一撃だけ。それで無理なら、あとはセイバーに任せよう。
Oh, this should be good. Then I shall try once. If I cannot accomplish it in one try, I will entrust Saber with this task. Oh boy. He sprints like the wind to Caster. The Red Shadow runs. I don't know when he got them, but in Archer's hands are those weapons, those twin swords. Ah, like from the Lancer fight. Alright, here we go. Oh, you're suddenly caught off guard. It's almost like he's better than you thought. Ads are playing? Oh, Wise, you're getting ads. At least someone. Dash. He does not allow time for any spell casting. Here I thought it was going to be, you know, because Shiro's inner monologue was like, he should be fast enough. I thought it was going to be, oh, Archer is overconfident, and then Caster's like, I'm actually good in close range. But it seems like it's the reverse. Archer closes in on Caster even before she can raise her hand. And he slashes Caster in half with his swords. Oh, but okay. Obviously, it's not going to be over that easily. So, what's the trick? The robe, cut in half, scatters in the wind. Substitution jutsu, or... I know that if memory serves, in the first timeline, Gilgamesh threw a bunch of shit at Caster, and, like, initially, it, like, there was, like, a shield or something, and it, you know, she kept coming back, and she kept being protected, but then eventually it did kill her. It just took a long time, because she had magic that was keep delaying her death, and was, like, making it so she wouldn't die or something, so, it's hard to kill her, I think, but... And right, it might have been that also, if she had some magic making it so she couldn't die, Gable did... Gable? Gable, that is the weapon that Lancer uses. Archer had a bunch of special weapons, and one of them, I believe, had magic canceling. And so maybe that striking her was important. But... Archer appears disappointed, standing in front of the enemy he slashed so easily. Ah, this is like that time early in One Piece, when Zoro beats Buggy, and he's like, what? I beat him that easily? But then Buggy was like, no, chop, chop, paradise, or whatever he said. It must be because it was so easy. She talked so big, yet she lost without even attacking him once. Obviously, this is a trick. Archer, you should be smart enough to realize that. Anybody would lose their spirit. Ellipses. Archer still holding onto his swords, ready to slash her when she reveals her chop-chop powers. His red clothing. His black and white short swords are beautiful, and they captivate me. Ah, yes. So that you'll make them eventually, right? Is that what we're going towards? Because you had an idea like that in the when you were fighting Ryder. Is this when you take a time to really analyze them? This is strange. Yes, you realize it's strange. Good. The class skills did mention that she can create a false immortality serum. Oh. Right, but it's not... Is that what... It says a thing. Okay, not in the skills. Well, wait. Or in abilities? Tool creation. Enables the temple... Allows creation of a tool. And it even allows for the creation of an immortality serum, but the result is only an imitation. I see. So she's only got half immortality. Only mostly immortality. This is strange. Am I captivated by those swords? Oh, it's not even the caster thing. You're just focused on the swords. Okay, back to Archer's swords again. Ooh, we get a good look at them finally. Those twin swords. They're black and they got some redness going on. The other one's white, black and white. It's like a duality. It's like a yin and yang. Pretty. They must be great swords with history, but I feel no malice from them. Because Archer was a good boy, obviously. Noble phantasms are excellent weapons, so it's natural that they're beautiful. If I could see Saber's sword, I bet it'd be magnificent. I mean, she's got like one or two, and you know. But they're not like that. No, they're much longer. Who cares about the fight? These swords are dope, yeah. It's fine, it's fine. It's a through line. He's eventually gonna, you know, manifest them himself or have them crafted so that he has them in the future past because he's Archer or something. Fighting spirit that intend to beat others. Fighting spirit that intends to beat other. What? Yes. Desire to be famous. Oh shoot, sword sexual for sure. I mean, you know, who cares about Rin? I like swords. Who cares about Saber? I want her sword. Fighting spirit that intends to beat others. Desire to be famous. Oh, some things are going through his head. Is this how he's secretly a spirit from the future past? Competitive spirit that tries to beat another weapon. Oh boy, are you the competitive spirit? Faith to accomplish some great deed. You see all that within the weapons? Are you analyzing the weapons, or is that what you want? The sense of purpose found in famous swords. Oh, and demonic swords is not in these. Oh, there's no purpose. I see what you're saying. They're not famous. They're incognito. Maybe because they never really existed. Because you see Archer making them in the future past, and then you make them yourself, but they're made based on nothing, which is why they have no legend. It's just a time loop of the swords being created because they were created. That would be why they have no legend. They were made because somebody wanted to make them. That sounds like a fucking, what I'm saying. Unrefined twin swords made without a will, as if to question the meaning of the swordsmith. Oh? What is the meaning? I think those are swords like that, as if to question the meaning of the swordsmith. Well, if it was questioning whether you're Archer from the future past, that would be a question that would question the swordsmith. Mirrored swords without any vanity. Black and white, strange swords that represent yin and yang. I already said that. It's mono swords! I'm captivated because they're my sword! Their existence is just too beautiful. Caster's slash body disappears. Back to the fight. Dash. As Archer starts to put his weapons away after seeing it. No, don't put away your pretty weapons. I have to bang off to them a little bit more.
残念ねアーチャー。あなたが本当にその程度だったなんて。
Too bad, Archer. I didn't think you were that weak. Oh, he just didn't know the real you or whatever. Caster's voice echoes through the empty temple. Oh, shoot. Buggy is alive. Plot twist. Ellipses. I mean, Cher did plenty of rubbing out over, Catabelong in the other timeline. So, is it Catabelong? I don't remember. No, there's Excalibur and Caliburn. Caliburn? Anyways, whatever. Now he's got to rub out on these, no-name swords. And there's 2 of them this time. Extra kink. Archer jumps. This is exactly like what happened here a while ago. The light bullets appear from the sky to pierce Archer. Oh no, they pierce Archer? The bullets? Oh shoot! Are they Archer bulletceptioned? They pierce Archer? And Archer knocks him down with his swords. Oh, they're Caster's bullets. I thought Caster was like rearranging Archer's bullets to go against Archer. But like, where did the bullets come from? I don't know. No. This isn't like before. You're right, because I was like, wait, what are you talking about? Ooh, got purpley. This looks almost like the climax from Timeline 1 almost. Nani? The ground is scorching red. The magical energy in that small light is about 3 times my full magical energy. You can tell that? It means you're more magical than we think you are, because, I think you are more magical than you think you are. But, like, if you don't know you're good, how would you know it's 3 times if you... Anyways. Even Archer would have had his body blown away if he took a direct hit. Ooh. Ooh, nice. Also, I haven't heard this song in a while. I do remember it now that it starts playing more, but... It's the other fight music. The beginning sounded unfamiliar. I look up. She's got... Okay. So she can turn, like, her cape into, like, wings, kind of, to fly. Nice. And she's got a staff. Seems like a castery thing to have a staff. It's okay. Finally get to see a real casterish fight. Instead of one where she just warps us and then gets warped by Gilly. There's no moon, and seas of clouds are drifting through the night sky. The black magus floats in the middle, as if reigning over the heavens. Or the hells.
空間転移か固有実制御かどちらにせよこの境内ならば魔法の真似事さえ可能ということか
Must be transportation or control of matter. Either way, it seems you can do something close to sorcery in this territory. If anyone's gonna do sorcery, it'd be Caster.
見直したよキャスターいや大口を叩くだけはある
I have a better opinion of you now, Caster. Wow, no wonder you can talk big. Archer readies his swords while looking up at Caster. As she looks down at him, as she would want it, she would always want to be the one looking down. And everyone else looking up at them. Also, this image, though, is definitely recycled. It was the same image when he was facing off against Lancer. That's fine, though. I don't mind.
そうですか。
Ooh.
私は見下げ果てたわ、アーチャー。
That one I mind a little bit, because she's facing the wrong direction. She should be looking... She's still looking down, but can't you flip the image? That one I mind. It should be... They should be facing each other. If Archer's looking to the right, Caster should... No, if Archer's looking to the left, Caster should be looking to the right. That's a little bit of... Okay, that recycling is a little lazy. Because I noticed immediately that it was a problem. Really? But you've let me... Maybe I impressed you, but you've let me down, Archer.
使えると思って試してみたけど、結果がこれではアサシン以下よ。
I tested you since I thought you might come in handy, but you're below assassin if that's the result. I don't know about that. Caster gets even more buffed in her temple? Sounds about right. Maybe the Gil fight would be more even if they fought here. Possibly. I mean, Gil's pretty darn strong, but yeah, her being stronger in her temple makes plenty of sense. But I mean, we do know that Archer himself is a pretty strong archer, even if Archer's not, you know, Gilgamesh Archer. It's hard to say who would have been stronger between the two archers, because even though, you know, Gilgamesh is strong, we know that Archer, while injured, did quite a bit of damage to Berserker. So when he's, you know, full strength, I think he's got some tricks up his sleeve that could possibly match Gilgamesh. Hard to say. Will we actually see that fight happen so we can test that theory? Maybe. Anyways, you're below assassin if that's the result.
耳に痛いな。
Ooh, the winky face.
次が
I
ある
think
の
that's
な
new.
らもう少し気を利かせるな。
That hurts. I can try to do better if there is a next time. Ooh. He said he was going to do it all in one strike, though. Is that a lie? Is he going to turn that into a bit of a cheeky lie? He has been tactical in the past, so I think lying is fine in this situation. Ooh.
まさか
Fancy.
愚か者に次などありません。
Good thing Archer's no fool. Of course not. Fools do not get a second chance. See, I like that motto, fools don't get a second chance. Sure got plenty of fucking second chances, though, because of his bullshit. Avalon saving him bullshit, but, you know. It's okay. He's smarter now. Fancy pattern, though. Is that in itself some kind of incantation?
あなたはここで消えなさい、アーチャー。
You will die here, Archer. Ooh, now he's nervous. Damn. Archer starts off. He sprints to get away from Caster, to get out of this place. Oh, he's going for the runaway. What about me? You leaving me behind? Maybe he is. Or maybe he's got a plan. Maybe Rin's got something cooking. Or she's just sitting in the background. I mean, she could be sitting in the background having something cooking, but, you know.
逃げ切れると思って。
Do you think he can get away? It's probably all part of his plan. He probably has a plan. Archer seems pretty smartical. Unless he was underestimating her because of a little bit of a sexism. But, I don't think so. I don't think so. Caster moves her wand. Would you call that a wand? More of a staff, but okay. After the wand targets Archer, something ridiculous happens before me. No! Nobody can hear me say no way! I heard the first part. Okay, we got some magical balls of energy attacking. Cool. She gets to be her own little archer for a second. Caster's attack is a rain without pause. The shooting lights are no different from a bombing raid. Each magic is a deadly attack, and Caster's shooting them off like rain. I may be an amateur, but even I can understand how ridiculous this magic is. That's more like a great magic. More like a sorcery. Oh boy. To activate it, one needs a simple magic circle and a 10 count. A spell casting of more than 10 verses. Oh, I see. But she's doing it freely because of her ancient language or whatever in her skills or something. Because great magic is strong, casting it takes time. A normal magus would take about a minute to cast such a big magic. Which is bad for one-on-one fights because, you know, a minute's a long time and all that. It's 10 rounds of combat. You're probably not going to get... Like, usually combat is over by 10 rounds, right? Ugh. Even a Max that could use high-speed casting would take 30 seconds or so. This is the highest of speed casting. But she did it in an instant. It's like she's a caster! Wow! How many times do we have to get impressed that, you know, she's good at casting magic as a caster? She didn't even cast a spell, but just pointed her wand, and she's shooting them off in rapid succession. I can't even think of someone who could compare with her. It's almost like she's a servant. Wow! Pretty.
めぎつなめ A ランクの魔術をここまで連発するとはよほど魔力を溜め込んだな
You fox. You must have stored huge amounts of energy. I wonder what he called her in Japanese, because fox, or, you know, the English. That's interesting. I mean, I don't think fox would have the same connotation, and it's possible, though. You must have stored huge amounts of energy, shooting that many A-rank spells in succession. I mean, yeah, that's what she's been sapping a bunch of souls. What is your magic resistance, Archer? Remind me. Magic resistance D. So he only nullifies D shit. He doesn't nullify A, that's for sure. Saber would nullify all this shit. Lancer wouldn't nullify it. Ryder still isn't here, but I think to fill in the blank, Ryder's got B, because C, D, A, so Ryder would have B. We still don't have Assassin in our inventory, but... Inventory? He must not be able to avoid them anymore, as he runs while deflecting them with his swords. Oh, you can actually see them in the picture that they do have the black and white yin and yang, if you take a nice look. Okay. Archer tries to run out of the temple, but he changes his course midway. And you're just watching this whole time? She's not going for you? I guess she needs to be fully focused on him, but you know, I feel like I could be turned into a hostage at some point here. You idiot! Who? Me? Oh, okay, it comes up. How long are you just gonna stand there? Archer charges at me with a scary expression. Okay, I'm relevant. Huh? I was just engrossed. It was a pretty fight. That makes me realize the place I'm standing isn't safe at all now. If she wants his command spells, yeah, she might leave him alive. But, you know, if he becomes a big bother, she might just say screw it and kill him. I'm already in the range of the shooting lights. Damn, why do I have to do such a thing? Archer comes at me. Uh-oh. Don't manhandle me, please. The instant I try to avoid him by jumping back. My body is flying through the air. I try to shake him off in a reflex. I can't believe it. Archer's running while carrying me? You being manhandled. Oh well. They have the best Sundari relationship. Let me down, you idiot. What the hell are you thinking? He's saving your life, you idiot, because, you know, Rain wants you to be safe. I don't know, just shut up, you idiot. I'll get a headache thinking of how stupid I am if you tell me about it. Oh, I love their chemistry after how tense their relationship is right now. That they have to work together. It's fun to see in action. Idiot! You know you're an idiot, and you still call me an idiot, you idiot! That's great. I love that so much. Just shut up, you idiot. Calling each other idiots. You see, they are the same person. They both recognize each other are idiots. Are you a kid or something? You can't be helped if you're a kid and stupid. At least pick one, you idiot. I'm not an idiot. You're an idiot, you idiot. I love it. They hate their teamwork so much. I love it. Archer must be frantic as his words make no sense. Of course he's frantic. Duh. And he's so disdained towards the cooperation because they do have these ideas of where the future is going that's so opposed, and yet they're working together because of their connection through Rin. Or maybe secretly, they're the most connected of all if they're actually secretly the same person. I've been saved by him, but I just can't accept this. How dare you? Saber's supposed to save me. Or maybe Rin, but not you! You? Just let go of me. I can take care of this myself. I don't need your help. I mean, you were fucked before he showed up, so I think you need his help to some extent. No, more than that. I can't stand to be a burden on him. Ooh, that's your real feelings, huh? You don't want to be a burden. Ooh, you do care. Look at that son. Your son always comes through in relation to Rin, and now it's coming through in relation to Archer, too. How cute. Archer should have been able to escape by now if he were by himself. But the exit is farther now that he came to save me. He must be an easy target for Castor. She's above us. And, you know, the high ground really matters a lot. Archer, are you listening to me? These omais would be more impactful if he didn't say them all the time. I've said that before, but in moments like this, I'm like, it'd be so much more impactful if he didn't always say omai. I see, then I guess I don't need to hold back. Oh god, are you gonna take him at his word? Don't. He's he's being humble. He's being rudely humble. He's being rude because he wants to be humble. Then Archer suddenly kicks me off of him. Oh shit, hopefully you can back up your words. Yarr! My body hits the ground. He ain't dealing with your bullshit anymore. He must have kicked me hard as I fly at least 5 meters.
Damn it!
You? I bear my pain and get back up. Archer stopped. He's going serious mode now. There's enough distance that he can do a thing without me getting hurt. The shooting lights have stopped as well. Oh shoot, why'd they stop? What's she doing? What's going on? The only thing here is the freezing air. Why has time stopped? Time has stopped. Time just stopped. Hey! I finally noticed. What did you notice? What did Archer do? It was a secret plan all along. Archer's surroundings have stopped as if everything is frozen. Is time frozen? Did she freeze Archer in time? Or is this time frozen for you because of your senses?
気分はどうかしら、アーチャー。いかに三騎士といえど、
Okay, it was her.
空間そのものを固定化されていては動けないのではなくて。
How do you feel, Archer? Even a knight cannot move if space itself is frozen, right? Oh, let me guess. Those energy shots at him were dual purpose, and we're also setting up something of a time-freezing space. So now we have to save him. And maybe now we can with using his swords. I mean, unless Rin's going to show up, but I mean, I don't know how much she can do when Archer can't do much. I think Shiro, him doing his fancy stuff will be more useful than Rin showing up at this point. But I don't know, if she uses her gems, she had a fancy moment against Berserker, but there was prep time here. I mean, I guess she could be prepped for this, but I mean, what's she gonna do against an enemy caster? Like, the worst, the biggest enemy caster of all. At least Berserker had, you know, didn't have a magic resistance. Caster being caster would naturally have, you know, magical stuff. Caster sounds as if she's already won. And then what about Saber and Assassin? Will Saber actually beat Assassin off screen? Probably not. If last time we saw her, she lost to him on screen. I think we'd need to see the revelation that lets her win on screen. Archer does not move at all, and maybe he can't even talk. So do we have to do something, or does Archer have more tricks? Which one of us has tricks? We're both secretly the same person. We both have a bunch of tricks. Who's got the trick this time?
どうやらこれで爪のようね。外にはセーバーもいることですし。 これ以上あなたにかける時間はないわ。
I guess this is it. Saber is outside, so I don't have time to waste on you. Rin coming in would be, I think, bad narratively. Not only because I don't think she can do much, but I guess it's debatable. I don't think she can do much, but also it would be lazy to be like, oh shoot, Shiro's about to be killed. Archer saves him, yeah. Oh shoot, Archer's about to be killed, but Rin saves him. It's just kind of a lazy, it would make sense in the idea that maybe Rin comes in, gets hurt herself, and Rin getting hurt fires up Shiro. That's why I could see them maybe doing it, but I think it'd be better to not do it. But anyways, obviously Rin's doing something, but I think her coming in a moment like this would be improper as it's a little repetitive as they already did the savior thing. I don't have time to waste on you.
どこの英雄だったかは知らないけど、これでお別れよ、あっちゃ。
I don't know which hero you were, but this is goodbye for you, Archer. Castor raises her left arm. Her hand shoots the bullet of light. But right before that, Archer remembers something. Okay, it's Archer doing it himself. Good narrative. Good job. Whatever Rin's doing, she doesn't need to be part of this. Not right now. This can be Archer-Shiro bonding time.
何かしら、あっちゃ。命乞いなら聞いてあげても。
Ooh, she got cut off. That means it's gonna be cool. What is it? If you're begging for your life, I might just list. He don't need no begging. I thought time had frozen for him. He's able to actually mumble something? Wow. What do you got, Archer? What do you got? What's your special surprise?
と言ったのだ、キャスター。
Ooh, he's a little frozen still. I said, Castor. He sounds irritated. When I try hard to catch his voice.
たわけ。かわせと言ったのだ、キャスター。
Idiot, I said dodge it, Castor. Oh, shoot. He's broken. He broke it. He's not black and white. Archer jumps as he yells. He must have broken the frozen space with his powers. So what'd he do? It can't just be natural magic resistance, is it? What's the trick? What's your trick? Castor thought you were done for. What's your trick? I'm sure it's a trick, but what's the trick? Archer disappears from our vision, leaving a sound like breaking glass behind him.
何よ、バカな。
What are you doing, you idiot? I heard bakana, so you know. Nani o bakana? Castor's perplexed by Archer's scream. And to the right and left of her, 2 arrows? What do we got? A white and black lighter aiming at Castor. The dagger swords! Dash! Exclamation points! Castor's robe is cut off! It must be because Castor reacted to Archer's yell, as she manages to narrowly avoid the attacks. So, Archer gave her a warning, huh? Maybe you shouldn't have done that. I guess Archer, though, does have, you know, he's still got a bit of his own pride, for sure. Unless the yell had some kind of strategical purpose. But it seems, if anything, it just gave her a chance to react, but... It does not need to be said, but the things attacking are Archer's twin swords. It does need to be said, but you said it anyway. Cool. At that instant, Archer threw his swords right before he kicked me and fell into Castor's spell. Oh, you just didn't tell us, huh? So it's not like that kind of trick. I see. So he threw the swords prematurely, but breaking out of the spell, was that something he naturally did? Or was that related to maybe his swords being broken out and using them as an anchor point? I would be okay with that idea, because him just naturally breaking out and Castor not expecting him to break out seems a little bit like, okay, so how? He's just better than we thought? The idea that maybe the swords act as an anchoring point, I wouldn't mind. But if the whole revelation of, oh, he's caught, oh, he breaks out because he's just better than she thought, wouldn't quite sit right with me, but the sword throwing is fine, but, you know, it's the breaking out that I think I would want more explanation for, but Archer threw his swords right before he kicked me and fell into Castor's spell. Okay. The cast swords made an arc and attacked Castor in the sky. Or did she have to dodge them, and the moment of dodging them, he was able to break free? That I'd be fine with, but if that's what they did, they definitely ordered things wrong just now.
さすがアーチャーってところか。ってあいつどこに
That's expected of Archer, huh? Wait, where is he? I'm speechless for sure this time. Except you just spoke. It must be the same for Castor. The Knight in Red already has Castor in a checkmate. I mean, I think you're making big assumptions, but sure. He has his knee on the ground and is readying a bow toward the sky. Does he? Where? Where? Do you see him? With your awesome vision? His target is Castor. Well, sure, of course, obviously. Who else? I mean, I guess it could be you, but, you know. And the arrow on it is the demonic sword that shot Berserker. Oh boy.
I am the bone of my sword.
Oh, fuck, that's English! I am the bone of my sword, indeed! Archer's voice shakes the air. Are we gonna recognize that that's English? Or English? If it's very good English. If it's meant to be English, it is very good English. It's not German, which magic normally is, so if he's doing some kind of magical nonsense, it being English is very interesting. That suggests some kind of English background, but Shiro's Japanese, so he can't be Shiro from the future past? He could still be, somehow. Oh, that's magic. Toyoya! With some magical scripting. Caster casts a spell in a rush. Seeing it.
Karadobolg.
Kaladebolg. Oh, yeah, that's the thing you did earlier, right? Yeah. You actually have to say the thing when you do it? Oh, because we have a weapon. Ooh, wait, we got a new one. Yeah, Kaladebolg 2. Yeah, it's your sword, so you have to say it. And then, wait, what's this? Oh, we got this. Kansho Bakuya. Kansho, oh, they're the different names. Kansho and Bakuya. Twin swords that Archer likes to use. Their rank as Noble Phantasm is C-. How the fuck do you know that, Shiro? They are a pair of swords with a strong bond that will return to their owner even if events cause them to be lost. Oh, so they're not infinite swords like Lancer was like, how do you keep getting them? They're just, he can resummon them even if they break. Their strength as swords is high, but they also serve as a ceremonial equipment. When both are equipped, magical resistance and physical resistance improve. Oh, and yet he threw the swords away when he was caught by Caster's spell, so in theory his magical resistance should have been worse, so breaking out should have been harder. Unless I'm missing something. It feels like the resolution to how he broke out was just because he could, which is weird, especially when they explain that magic resistance is stronger when he has them, which he didn't, because he threw them. I mean, I guess when they're technically still equipped, but that feels like a weak resolution to how he actually escaped. Slightly weak turn in the fight, but narratively speaking. Kaladebolg! Archer shoots his arrow! The bone of his sword, huh? It does look bony, that's for sure. Ooh! Ooh! Did you dodge? Nice skyline cut. Is that his Noble Phantasm? There was a second page on the weapon page. Oh, wait, what? Second page? Oh, yeah, there is. It might just be Archer's taste, but words thought to be a charm against evil spirits are carved on the blade. Divine skill, flawless and firm, strength moves mountains. Oh, these are the charm. Divine skill, flawless and firm, strength moves mountains, blade cuts water. Life approaches the Imperial Villa, we embrace heaven together, two great men shared life. Is this the idea that they're from two different people? So Archer is two people at once? Is one of those people Shiro? Life approaches the Imperial Villa, we embrace heaven together, two great men shared life. Interesting. There might be some theory fodder there for later. The arrow distorts space itself. Looks like she took some damage. But she just barely avoided and is going to run away now. Is she actually going to do the thing and run away? You know, last time we had our first big fight, we killed them because Ryder, because it took forever for us to have our real first big fight. Well, I suppose no, Ryder initially ran away and then we tracked her down and killed her. But yeah, our first big fight was against the person that I guess our first big fight was arguably Assassin in that case. It wasn't that big. It wasn't that grand, but I guess arguably Assassin was our first fight, post the Lancer fight anyways, and the Berserker fight. But I meant first fight after the proper start, and I don't count Berserker as the proper. Anyways. Shinji Rider was the first full combo we knew, master and servant combo. I mean, Ilya we knew, but anyways, never mind everything I just said. But timing-wise in the narrative, it feels similar to the Rider fight in Timeline 1, except it feels sooner because I think the pacing of this novel is better. But the second, timeline, as it were. First timeline was very slow. Caster's moaning fills the air. Ooh, she moaned. The storm-like arrow has easily penetrated Caster's defenses. Uh-oh! But she's still alive, it seems. Guessing from the distortion in space, I bet Castor would have been twisted along with space itself, even if Castor had transported herself. But she's alive, so it didn't kill her. That's twice now. His fancy sword arrow, the bone of his whatever, has not, quite killed. It's done a good job, but it's not quite killed. Well, I guess arguably it did kill with Berserker, but, multiple lives. Headcanon on what happened in that fight is that Archer threw his sword beforehand, and them hitting her broke her concentration, which allowed him to break the spell. If that was the idea, it's poor conveyance. That's fine for fight flow. It's just they showed Archer breaking out and disappearing before Castor, even seemed to realize they were there. If that was the idea, that's fine. But it should have been more of a Castor being like, wait, what are those black and white lights? And then a concentration drops. And then you see Archer going, dodge that! As her concentration drops. And they make a note of, oh, her concentration dropped. And then he disappears. And then the swords come at her. But, they didn't order it right if that's the idea. Anyways, I bet Castor would have been twisted along with space itself, even if Castor transported herself. How you thinking, Castor? What you thinking? Finally having the low ground, as it were. Whatever spell you cast where you were like, Toya, or whatever, didn't work. Turns out he's stronger than you thought, huh? But Castor's still alive. Berserker, I think it took one of his lives. Castor just has an invulnerability serum that isn't perfect, but it makes her pretty hard to kill, I'd say. Her black robe is scattered, and the body underneath the robe is cut up. Castor's using all her magical energy to heal herself, but I'm sure she would have died instantly if it were a direct hit. That's right. It was probably because of her magic that it wasn't a direct hit. Archer's arrow did not hit her. It should have, but it didn't, probably because of something she did, not something he did. The arrow was shot into space far from Castor, and she had her protection destroyed by the after effect. The arrow missed. Ooh, you gonna have this big analogy about shooting to the target and knowing you'll hit or whatever? No, that's wrong. Chigalio! It did not miss. It missed on purpose. Oh, you're saying Archer intended to miss? He wanted to leave her alive? To what? To gather information? What do you need it for information? You know what's happening with Assassin. Oh, maybe the information you want is what's happening with your master, because Archer maybe wants to save her master, because Archer's a nice guy. I suppose if he just kills Castor, he has no idea what's going on with her master. That's possible. I don't know what his intentions are. That's the best thing I can think of. Unless, it's one of those, I'll get them all together and kill them all at once. But I think it's more likely maybe that he wants to try to free Assassin somehow if he can, and also maybe free Castor's master, because, he's a nice guy, he's a softie and all that. It was a big chance, but Archer missed Castor on purpose. Silence returns to the temple. In front of me are Archer and Castor, who's glaring at Archer. It must have been a lot for him, as I only feel weak magical energy from Archer now. That goes for Castor as well. Even though it did not hit her, Archer's shot has taken away most of Castor's body and her magical energy. Okay, so we're saying that if Archer wanted to, that could have been a surefire kill? Wow. Archer pretty good indeed. Makes sense, given how he was able to kill, Berserker 6 times even when injured, so I could see it, sure. She has really strong defenses. It took Gilgamesh multiple attacks, but, he's got multiple strong attacks, so Archer is more of a one strong attack. That's fair. I can see that. That's fair. That does say Archer is more on equalish playing ground, arguably, with Gilgamesh. Possibly better if her defenses are stronger at the temple. I'd be very curious to see them go against each other, because we know Gilgamesh is so good, but, Archer's also so good. I mean, Gilgamesh is an Archer, but, Archer off. I want to see Archer v. Archer combat. I hope the narrative gives us that at some point. Be a bit of a cock tease if they had 2 Archers and didn't have them fight. Maybe in Timeline 3. I think it feels off narrative in Timeline 2, but maybe in Timeline 3. Archer's more burst compared to Gil's constant DPS. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, but I'd still like to see how it would go with an actual clash between them. Even if there is a big pool of magical energy here, it's meaningless if what collects the energy, Caster, is damaged. Ah, if Caster is hurt too much, the energy here might disperse. The souls might go back to their proper owners if she's not careful. We got some blood. Indeed. Caster comes down without spirit. She managed to form her body, but there's nothing inside. It should be impossible for her to continue fighting. She does. There is a lot of magical reserves here, though, if she can quickly heal herself. She has quickly healed herself, but... possibly using souls of other people. Maybe they were already too far gone, I don't know. Well, then again, maybe if she was instantly killed, those souls could have went back to the people, or maybe it was too far gone for them, but... Indeed. Caster watches us while breathing heavily. What you gonna do? You really hate being in the this position, don't ya? Gilgamesh enjoys it to an extent. He likes it when people actually challenge his authority. But you definitely are the type that does not. You always like being on top. I don't know why, but she's looking at both the servant that brought her down and at me. Oh, am I special in some way? How am I special? Why am I a pretty princess?
あーちゃん、今の一撃、なぜ外したのです？
Archer, why did you not hit me with that shot? She asks in a weak voice. Guess that's all you can do here. Admit that you would have been hit. You didn't dodge, you would have been hit. Archer shrugs as if saying that question is a wonder itself. Maybe because, you know, taking it easy. Maybe it's not. Maybe I thought there was an actual reason to save, you know, maybe her master. And maybe there is a reason there. But it also could be that slight bit of, you know, he's actually sure from the future, but has slight sexism that, you know, he doesn't like hurting women, you know.
いや、試すのは一撃だけと言っただろう。
Well, I told you I'd try only once, and he failed the first time. Fair point, fair point. So he's gonna leave Saber to fight you? Seems like a weak excuse, but it might be a better way strategically to oust the contract. If you really do want to, you know, defeat Saber in friendly fire, I'm sure Rin wouldn't want that, but...
初めの一撃はかわされたからな。その後はただのおまけだ。なんだ。それともまさか約束を違えても当てて欲しかったのか? Well, that's very prideful, but also a knightly, chivalrous thing to do, and you do seem to have the other theory, if you're not sure from the future past, is that you're probably some knight type of person from Saber's time, so you know there'd be some chivalry there. My first attack was avoided. Everything else is unnecessary. Or what? Did you want me to break my promise and hit you? He says such a ridiculous thing. Mm-hmm.
では、私を殺す気はなかったと?
You had no intention of killing me? What are you thinking about, Caster? Are you falling for him? Or are you like, how dare you not show me the honor I deserve? I don't know if she cares much about honor as she does about wanting to be better than everyone. He just proved that he is somewhat better than her. I mean, would that take her off? Or... I'll save even the hostage taker, Emiya. Yeah, that does sound, you know, like a Shiro thing to do if he can do it. Well, then again, I mean, Shiro, that's debatable. If Archer's Shiro from the future past, there's definitely a through line in terms of similar personality, if that's the angle of Shiro. But right now, Shiro's a little more unhealthy, I would say. He's certainly healthier than Timeline 1, but I don't think we're quite at the point of him being a true superhero. If that is the angle, though, then I could see that being a thing. Because in Timeline 1, at the end, when he killed Kirei, that was sort of him moving past the idea of everyone is better than him, and therefore everyone deserves to be saved instead of him. And yeah, some people you just fucking kill. So, again, it still could eventually go towards that as an end goal. He just needed to get past the first hurdle of, well, if someone's this bad and this good at being bad, maybe I should kill them. And Caster's pretty good at being bad, but, you know, there could still be a way if you are strong enough in theory. Whereas with Kirei, Shiro was probably not strong enough to Batman him, you know, to lock him up, you know, without actually killing him.
つい挑発に乗っただけだ。私の目的はそこの男にあったからな。他のサーバントと戦うなど予定にはなかった。
I only responded to your provocation. My objective is that man over there. I didn't intend to fight another servant. You certainly didn't have any will to fight from the beginning.
そうどうやら私と戦いに来たというわけではなかったよね。
I see. It does not look like you came here to fight me, Archer. You just gonna let me walk away then? Because, I mean, if you don't cast her, then Archer probably will take you out, right? That is the ultimate goal of the hero, arguably. The ultimate superhero goal. Don't even kill the bad guy. Just be strong enough that they can't do anything bad, because anytime they try, you stop them. That is, you know, the ideal.
ああ、そこの男が腰抜けなのと同じでね。不必要な戦いは避けるのが主義だ。
Nope. It's just like that chicken over there. What? Excuse me. I try to avoid meaningless battles. You think it's a meaningless battle to fight against Castor, despite how many bad things she does? That's a meaningless battle? And yet you think a battle against Shiro and Saber does have meaning. To be fair, you're not exactly trying to win the war, but you are a bit of a nice guy, and you've already taken issue with Castor and how she's using assassins, so I think you're talking the talk, but you have an ulterior motive here.
剣を取るときは必勝の好機であり、必殺を誓ったときのみだ。意味のない殺生は苦手でな。
I only use my sword at perfect opportunities, and only when I can swear a sure kill. I don't like killing meaninglessly. You think there's no meaning in killing such a bad person who you admit is bad? Only when I can swear a sure kill. So you think you couldn't swear a sure kill against Castor? I mean, you think that if you tried you wouldn't have killed her? I feel like the wording there is iffy. Unless that is the intention. Then it's still iffy. What's so funny? Castor laughs from the bottom of her heart.
そうならあなたたちは似た者同士ということ？
We are indeed. But how alike are we? Then you two are alike.
Huh?
Yeah, they totally are. That's a big part of why they dislike each other so much. We reply in unison. Now make out. No. Alike? Me and Archer? Yes, you dum-dum. Could have told you that ages ago. What makes her say that?
違うのかしら。あなたたちは無益な殺生が嫌なのでしょ。そこの坊やは私のような無関係な人間を糧にするサーバントが許せない。
Am I wrong? You both do not like meaningless killings, right? That boy over there cannot stand a servant like me who feeds on innocent people. And Archer couldn't really stand what Castor was doing with Assassin.
あなたは無意味な殺戮は好まない。
You don't like meaningless killings. Even if in this case there would definitely be a meaning, because Castor's a bad person, and you're potentially saving people by killing her. If you think even that is a meaningless kill, then that means you're pretty intent on what, you know, the kills do have meaning.
ほら、全く同じじゃない。だから手を組んでいるのではなくて。
See? It's exactly the same. Is that not why you two are cooperating? I mean, Rin kind of has a boner for me, and I've kind of had a slight boner, though not as big for her for a while, though now it's getting bigger. So, I mean, it's arguably more hormones, but sure, we'll go with that.
どうしてそんなふざけた結論になる？お前目が腐ってるぞ。誰がこんな奴と一緒なもんか。
Come on, drop your son, Shiro. Show some dare. You idiot! How can you reach that conclusion? Who would ally with such a guy?
同感だ。平和主義者なのは同じだが、根本が大きく異なる。厄介事は早めに片付けるのが私の方針だ。
I feel the same way. We're both pacifists, but our principles are different. It is my principle to take care of problems early on. Where Shiro does kind of dodge them for a while, that's fair. But I mean, if you were trying to take care of a problem, is Caster, are you saying she's not a problem? Maybe not for you personally? Saber's more of a problem? Because of your whole shindig? I mean, you do want to win the war with Rin, right? That is the idea. Defeating Caster would help in that, unless you have some big plan? What is your motive for not killing her? It is a little contradictory.
この男のようにいつまでも悩んだりはしない。
I do not ponder forever like this man. You say that, that means you should have some clear reason for not killing her. Like, there's a very good reason to kill her. She's a bad person. You yourself think so because of the way she controls Assassin. Yet you went out of your way to not kill her. That suggests something about something.
何が平和主義者だ。俺は忘れてないぞ。お前は
Exactly.
バーサーカーと一緒にセイバーを狙ったんだ。
What do you mean by pacifist? I still remember. You shot at Saber along with Berserker.
セイバー一人に戦わせて、シブは安全なところにいたくせに。
Even though you were hiding in a safe place while Saber was fighting. Ooh, what's Caster gonna think about our infighting?
仕方なかろう。あの時はまだ共闘関係ではなかった。セイバーの安全よりバーサーカーを倒すことが優先されただけだ。
Couldn't be helped. We were not cooperating back then. It's just that defeating Berserker came before Saber's safety. That's iffy. If anything, it seemed to me like your main concern was taking out Saber. Especially because you seem to be not willing to take out Caster. Maybe you have a thing with women. Maybe it's just you didn't want to kill her because she's a woman, and you're a little bit sexist. That would seem like a Shiro thing. Saber, you have a special reason you'd want to kill, I think. And Berserker, who cares? But you know, Caster's a pretty lady. Even if she's a bad pretty lady, all pretty ladies must be good on the inside. It's a bit of a sexist view, but maybe that's what it is. There would definitely be some Shiro in there if that was the case.
それとも何か目に映るものすべてを助けろなどというのではあるまいな。ならばバーサーカーとて倒す対象にはならないか
Or what? Don't tell me to save everyone I see. If that's the case, Berserker would have to be saved as well, and I would not be able to fight him. I mean, you say that, but you just saved Caster. You could have killed her. We've all agreed on this at this point. You could have just killed her. You just saved her. There was no other person in the way that would have made the shot harder. You're contradicting yourself. Ellipses. We glare at one another. Right in the middle of Caster being here, she's just being treated as like, who cares at this point? We're done with you. Which probably makes her feel bad, but is it going to make her want to, you know, make her revenge even sweeter later on? Or is she, you know, given how she was laughing, is she actually, you know, enamored by Archer at this point? Does she enjoy it? Like, ooh, you'd be an even better servant for me after I win the war. Is that how she thinks? Is she right back to being superior? Man, I just can't get along with him. Why does everything he say get on my nerves? Because you know it to be true, deep down. You know he is you, and you are him. It sounds like he's now criticizing his own actions. Shiro or Archer? Probably both. She laughs about it, of course. Then, Caster laughs even more, seeing us like this.
気に入ったわ。あなたたちは力もそのあり方も希少よ。
Well, that's cool. I like you as well, Caster. I like bad women who do bad things. I mean, Ilya, I think I like more in the bad women doing bad things department, but you're alright. You're alright. Ryder's probably third place. Ryder's fine. Ryder's good. She's fine, but Ryder's good. She's fine. She's good. But, you know, Caster enjoys it a little bit more from what I can tell. So, you know, that always puts it a little bit higher on the totem pole. She's a little more seductive with which, I mean, arguably Ryder has possibly a more seductive way of speaking, but the things that Caster chooses to say are more seductive. So it's like words you use versus inflection of voice. I mean, Caster's already got a pretty decent inflection of voice, but... Yes, we're judging how attractive they are while being the bad women that are bad that are fun while being bad. Of course. Your powers and how you two exist are rare. Ooh, you're admitting that I'm a rare existence? That I am actually... Did you notice that I have got super special awesome powers?
敵に回してしまうのは惜しい。
It'd be disappointing to make you two my enemies. Oh, what? We're gonna team up with you now despite you being a really bad person? That'd be really interesting. But I highly doubt Shiro would be on board. Maybe Archer would be, but I don't think Shiro's there mentally yet, given, you know, you being such a bitch. Question mark? I tilt my head and wonder. Yeah, I'm like, are you suggesting an alliance? Because, I mean, I think we are very opposed in ideals. Archer looks away from me and glares at Castor.
ちょっと待て。何が言いたいんだ。
Hold on, what do you want to say?
わからない？私と手を組みなさいと言っているのよ。
Is she being genuine? I think she's being genuine. I mean, she could just be screwing with us to live long enough to betray them, because she knows she's at a disadvantage after, you know, Archer attacked her and all that. But the way she's acting, I think she's being genuine, which makes it even funnier. Can you not tell? I'm telling you to ally with me. I mean, out of universe, I think that'd be neat. That'd be a really neat concept, but I don't think Shiro in universe would ever want to say yes unless there's a stipulation that you give back all the souls and stop being, you know, a bitch.
私なら今のパートナーより優れたものを用意できるわ。
I can provide you two with better partners. Okay, that's an instant no. What? So I get assassin and Archer gets... What? You have a better... What do you mean better partners? Excuse me? You could provide magical flow to Saber. What are you suggesting here, Castor? Whether this is a trick or not, what's the suggestion? What do you mean better partners? I mean, I like Saber, and Archer I think likes Rin to an extent, even if we don't like each other.
坊やにはセイバー以上のサーバントを。
I can give you, boy, a servant superior to Saber. You say that, but you seem to want Saber for yourself. What servant? What servant is superior to Saber? I mean, maybe Archer, maybe you, debatably. You don't have Gilgamesh, you mean summoning a new servant for me? Can you really do that when the Grail War is already ongoing? Is that allowed? You could just summon me a strong person, but they wouldn't really be a servant, would they?
アーチャーは今のマスターより優れた魔術師と契約できる。
I can give you, Archer, a contract with a magus superior to your master. I mean, I don't think we'd be up for that kind of deal. I still really like Saber, and Archer's a fan of Rin, so... My mind freezes. I question her sanity for asking such a question. Yeah, is that her goal? Her goal to get us to trip up? I feel like she's being genuine, which makes it so funny. If she's actually trying to be a backstabber, cool, sure, but no, I feel like she has to be being genuine here. Because if she's being a backstabber, then this is too easy to see through. Like, it's such an obvious no thanks. That's why I feel like it has to be genuine. Because if she was trying to backstab us, she'd give us a more actual compelling thing that she thinks we'd go for. Because I feel like she would be able to read us and know we wouldn't want this. That's why I think it's genuine.
悪い話ではないはずよ。私にはこの戦いを終わらせる用意がある。言ったでしょ？勝つことなんてたやすいと。
It can't be a bad proposal. I told you two that I'm prepared to end this war, and winning is easy. I mean, you just had really big problems with Archer just now, so is it really that easy?
どう？生き残りたいのなら、私に従うべきじゃなくて？
How about it? Should you not cooperate me if you want to survive? I mean, so what's your plan with Saber? What's going on over there? And I mean, what's your long-term goals? What does Archer get out of it? If you're planning to win the war, and I mean, Archer I know doesn't really have a normal wish anyways. I want to be a hero. That's kind of more or less my goal. Maybe that's Archer's to an extent as well. And it's going to be kind of hard to do that when I'm teaming up with a super villain, so... If Castor and Archer work together, they basically sweep the war. Sure, but would they ever want to? I don't think their goals are aligned. Dash. I don't even need to think about it. Yeah, like what kind of question is this? I decided to fight since I want to stop people like her. Yeah, who would involve innocent people. So I can never accept her offer.
断る。俺はお前みたいな魔女とは手を組まない。
You might have wanted to wait for Archer to respond first, because if he said yes, you might have wanted to cheat and go along just enough to get away. Because if you refuse first and Archer's actually down for it, I don't think he will be. But if you did, then it would make things very awkward. I refuse. I won't ally with a witch like you. I declare so. This is a natural response. I can't cooperate with this servant, and more than anything, we won't betray our partners. You're lumping yourself in with Archer now, subconsciously. I'll be fighting with Saber, and Archer will not do anything to betray Tosaka. You're thinking for her. Flying Shiro would say yes is a lie. That's what Shiro has to get better at. Learning when it's okay to lie for the betterment of, you know, lying to save people is a real thing that can happen. And Shiro, I think, you know, he's done some lying, but he needs to learn, you know, he just needs more confidence to be able to do the big lies. I mean, yeah, if Archer agreed, he'd be even more likely to refuse. I'm not doubting it. He would just, you know, hate the whole thing even more. But I feel like that's when you would go along with the lie. Or at least you'd know to be ready to get the fuck out of there. Instead of internally thinking like he is now. Like, yeah, we're going to stand firm against Castor. Didn't Shiro get fucked by saying yes to Ilya in the Fate route? Shut up with your stupid... That was a good ending. That wasn't getting fucked. She turned into a familiar for Ilya and they lived happily ever after. She won the war. Shut up. It was a great ending. Best ending. Shut up. I know there was a magical contract and it bound them, but so what? It was fine. It was fine. And to be fair, in that case, I think Ilya set it up in advance. I don't know if we say yes to this, if there's like a binding contract. I suppose Castor could say it on the fly. I suppose that's possible, but... Dash. Wait. Why is he silent? Oh no. Oh no.
Archer, お前
Hey Archer, what are you thinking? Because his goals aren't even to get the Grail. If he has some alternate goals, maybe he is thinking about it, but she is a bad person, but he did spare her. Unless Ilya died in the war, he just got stuck with the maids for the rest of his familiar life. I mean, the maids don't seem that bad. I know it's not the best ending, but you know, I like to think, because I like it when Ilya is being a bad girl. She's being a bad girl and she likes me. It's a win-win.
拒否する。君の力を借りる理由がない。
He thought about it though. I refuse. There's no reason for me to need your power. He thought about it. He has some goal and he thought, maybe. But then he's like, no, I don't need it that badly. But he thought about it.
それ以前に君の陣営はいささか戦力不足だ。いかに勢力を伸ばそうとバーサーカー一人に及ばない。まだ組みするほどの条件ではないな。
I refuse. There is no reason for me to need your power. Before anything, your territory is too weak. No matter how strong it may be, it is still not stronger than Berserker. It is not a good enough condition to accept your offer. Yeah, he thought about it, because he's still being more logical, where Shiro's still a little more emotional. He might be smarter, but he's still, thinking with his emotions, at least when they're this extreme. This is a very extreme circumstance, because Castor is very opposed to his ideals, as it were, so... Shiro, maids... Oh, free labor? Oh, which, I mean, it's just, Shiro's been doing free labor for a long time, to be honest. Making Taiga her food. The freaking, freeloader. Yeah, the pros don't outweigh the cons. Very true, very true. Yeah, I mean, Gilgamesh is maybe another story, but she's, we know she's not good enough to be Gilgamesh either from seeing Timeline 1, so... She's not going to like that, hearing that she's too weak. But what's she going to do in this circumstance? Is she really in a position to fight back? Has she been given enough time to charge her energy back up? Territory is too weak. I sigh with relief. I had a bad feeling, but he's not like that. I hate him, but he's still firm on his beliefs.
そう交渉は決裂ということ
I see. So there's no negotiation? I mean, theoretically there could be, if you reign to, you know, turn in your evil ways, turn a new leaf, be a good person. But that is definitely not what you're proposing right now. I don't negotiate with supervillains. Villains? Spelling. Okay, so. So, Castor wants to negotiate, and we're like, what? No, that's stupid. I see. So there is no negotiation?
そうだ。だが、ここで君と戦う気はない。
Oh.
この場に居合わせたのは私の独断でね。マスターの命令ではないから、君を撃つ理由はない。
What?
ここは痛み分けということで手を打たないか。
Are you telling the truth, or is this a lie? Is this a calculated lie? Really? No, but I have no intention of fighting you here. It's by my own choice that I'm here. It's not my master's order. There's no reason for me to defeat you. How about we call this a draw? You came here with... I thought Rin for sure was in on this. Because she was following up on Castor, so I assumed that it logically made sense, and she would want to make sure Shiro is safe. Yet you came on your own? What the heck's Rin doing then? You saved me on your own, so you do care about me. Or you care about safe. You were gonna... So you're a big fat liar with the notion that you don't like me. You liked me enough to come and save me, or did you like Rin enough to come and save? You really came here on your own? Wow. So Rin's not even around? She's doing her own thing? Wow. I'm gonna wonder what she's doing in that case. Alright, is this the truth? How about we call this a draw? Even though you could have won, that's the thing, you could have won! Huh? I doubt my own ears. Did he just say he'd let Castor go?
意外ね。あなたのマスターは私を追っていたでしょ？なのにあなたは私を見逃すというの？
That's unexpected. Your master was after me, right? But you're saying you'll let me go?
ああ。お前がここで何人殺そうが知らん。それは私には預かり知らぬことだ。
The fuck? Yes, I don't care how many people you kill here. It's something I'll ignore. What? That's dark. Why? You don't want to be a hero then? Or... What? Because again, yeah, not killing Castor is like reversed. It's like you have to have a special reason to not kill her. Because, you know, killing her would save people. But you don't care? Is it this city in particular wronged you in the past? Or you have a grudge against the city itself and so... What? If you're Shiro from the future past, you might have a grudge against this city or... Or maybe, what? Huh? That makes you sound like kind of a bad person, but I thought you were like a good person who was just cynical. But that just sounds like a bad person. Or you have some special stake in Castor, or you have some ultimate plan that needs her to be alive, or... It's something I'll ignore. I know his alignment is neutral, but like... Why? You seem to have a purpose, but you could have killed her. You went over your way to not kill her. So, I guess you're not as goody-goody as I was thinking. You were trying to kill Saber specifically. Probably didn't even have to do with Berserker. You're probably just going after Saber. because you have a special thing with sabers, my assumption in the Saber Berserker instant, so you're just gonna go and not kill people because even though you could have killed her, you decided not to. You know more people will die probably, and you let it happen because that feels evilly inclined. Like, you want to give Rin the satisfaction because you weren't specifically ordered. You feel like it's a fight that she would... That's so weird. That's so weird. That's weird.
あら、ひどい男。毒は使いようということ？
Oh, how terrible of you. You think poison has its uses? Maybe you think it's more practical leaving her alive in the long run for the purpose of the war, but... What is your goal then, Archer? And you care so little. I don't think he's a bad person, but maybe he just thinks in the grand scheme of things, a few dozen, a few hundred people getting killed by her isn't going to make a big deal. He has that cynical mindset, maybe, similar to the Kiritsugu mindset. If this is Shiro, something horrible is happening. Yeah, to be fair, it does seem like, it reminds me of, Kiritsugu. If he thinks there's a strategical advantage to teaming up with her, Kiritsugu would team up with her. He'd let her live or whatever. If he thinks that there's a way to save more people ultimately by letting some people die, that was his mindset at the time. So maybe that's Archer's thought process? Or he's got a grudge, or he really doesn't care. Or it's complicated and he doesn't know and he just let her live for some reason that he can't even explain if he himself doesn't fully remember his own past. Wild. That's interesting. Okay, that is going to make me reevaluate some stuff, because that makes him... Archer was always the one that was always like, let's be practical. We don't need Saber on our side. Take her out. Maybe all along that was more of his special connection with Saber and why he was going straight for that. Where otherwise he doesn't actually care that much. So it's like the opposite of your first impression of, oh, he might be a nice person, but he has to be practical, so he just wants to take out Shiro and Saber, but then he gets to a perfect chance to take out Castor and doesn't even fucking take it. Even though Castor is known to be a bad-ish person, I think that shows that it's more, the Saber thing is more about him wanting to specifically take out Saber, and with everyone else, he's more indifferent. His actual goal relates to Saber and maybe even stopping Saber. If he knows what Saber's goal is and knows that it's fucked. Well, no. Maybe. Because otherwise, he might not care in the grand scheme. And he might think there's a practical benefit to... Weird. Okay.
私のマスターはマスター殺しに精力的でなくてね。
Oh, cute. You're cute. You're cute. My master isn't that enthusiastic about killing other masters. My voice slipped. Yeah, technically, Castor counts as a master, right? Har har!
その分、お前が他のマスターを潰してくれるのなら何かと助かる。
Oh, there's that too.
この戦いの決着はその後でも遅くはあるまい。
Maybe he needs Castor alive so she can oppose Saber so her wish won't be granted. Yeah, but if they were trying to oppose Saber though, Archer said Rin didn't even send him here. He just came here, so he's the one who wanted to save Shiro. And he doesn't have any kind of... It's not like he came here to make an alliance with Castor, because he just said no to an alliance. So he came here because of Shiro and saving Shiro. But, like, letting Shiro die could have... He doesn't care if people die, but then... Specifically Shiro... But then Saber... Huh? Nandesu ka? It'll help me if you kill their masters. We can settle our match after that. Sure, there's practicalness to it, but she could have killed me just now. And you specifically didn't want that to happen. Not for Rin's sake? For your own sake? Why? What am I to you? If I'm not just you from the future past. What else am I to you? Is it because of Saber? Have you had a change of heart? You still seem to... What the fuck, Archer? What the fuckity fuck? What? Castor must have accepted it as she turns around. She was just about to kill one of those masters. Archer, what are you thinking? What's in your big brain head? Why? Maybe I need more info. I don't have enough clues to put it together.
待てキャサ
Hold on, Castor! Is his final goal for Shiro to live and for Saber to fail in her goal? Her good? Maybe. Maybe he does want Saber taken out, but for Shiro to live. Why? What is special about Shiro, though? And, I mean, I think I have an idea of what's special about Saber. Beyond him just being Shiro from the future past, which is certainly possible, I don't see much reason why he would care about Shiro living. I mean, I know Rin cares, but, like, he did this without Rin's orders. Why does he care? I run to Castor, who's about to disappear. But Archer stops me.
バカカキ様。追えば確実に死ぬぞ。
Are you stupid? You'll surely die if you follow her. Two great men shared life. Archer and Shiro? But are they the same person? Oh, Shiro and Archer shared life? I mean, that would go with my theory. You'll surely die if you follow her. So you want to win the Grail War using whatever strategical means necessary, but you don't care about the wish the Grail gives you. You just want to find more information about the Grail. Because you know something about the Grail. You know it's fuckly wuckly to some extent. And you want to deal with it. You want to maybe you want to defeat the Grail for good. Maybe you know that the Grail is fuckly wuckly, and you want to permanently kill it to end the cycle. Maybe that's Archer's ultimate goal, and he's like, okay, she'll kill a few hundred people, but whatever, timeline might reset anyway. Maybe he's thinking that. And even if it doesn't, it's ultimately worth it if we can defeat the Grail, so you think she's going to be useful later on. But you also need Shiro alive, because Shiro could be just you from the future past, or because, I mean, if he's not you from the future past, I don't know why you care about him, but your goal is to win the Grail War, but you want Shiro alive, and you also think there's strategical benefit. You also want to take Saber out because you think she has a bad wish, or you don't want to risk her getting her wish fulfilled. I guess that's my best bet of his ultimate goal is that he wants to destroy the Grail. Is that he understands to some extent, for some reason, that it's all bad and stuff, and he wants to take it out permanently, and he thinks she can help somehow in that. Maybe because she's a caster, that she would have some weird ties to the Grail. I still don't know why he'd care about Shiro beyond, you know, they are the same person, but at least why he'd care about him beyond, like, I do think that they're similar, but Archer seems to be denying it. Now, it could be in secret he knows that it's not untrue, and that he does actually like Shiro secretly. Maybe there's something there, but, like, the way, if he's not Shiro, maybe he cares because he saw how powerful Shiro is at peak, would be useful against the Grail, so he tolerates him for now? I guess there's that. But how would he have seen how powerful Shiro is at peak? Unless, like, how would he know that? Unless he's seen the other timelines. Maybe then there's something there. But that, like, he hasn't given a clear indication that he has. Otherwise, he has not seen Shiro at peak, that's for sure. But, he sounds calm. Maybe I'm needed for the Grail to be beaten? Or, wait... If he knows timeline's reset, then he shouldn't really care if I get taken out unless I am tied somehow to the Grail. But if I'm tied to the Grail and me getting taken out ends the war anyways, then it shouldn't even matter. I don't know. It's so true that I want to vomit from anger. I stop. Castor's black robe flutters in the wind and disappears. Castor has disappeared. Oh boy. So shenanigans are going on. I enjoy shenanigans. I enjoy when I really get this food of like thinking, what the heck? Weapons were updated. Said to be demonic sword possessed by the hero. Is this all the same? Has implied improvements particular to himself. Different from Fergus's sword. No fan considered the natural enemy of QQ Lane. Okay. Was this updated? Twin swords that Archer likes to use. I thought it said weapon screen was updated. I'm sure. I'm going to check status, but I thought for sure it said weapon. Okay, status. Still no assassin. No additional stuff from her. Maybe we got Archer. Archer, no details, of course. Noble Phantasm? No. So I think it was just a delayed weapon update. They were just telling me about the weapons that were already updated. I don't think the stat screens have really been updated much. Shouldn't it be given Assassin Master as Caster, though? I guess technically it would be Caster's name, and we don't know Caster's true name, but... Caster's disappeared. Only Archer and I remain here. Ellipses. His figure just gets on my nerves. Archer has saved me twice already, and yeah, you hate it. Now I could start to agree with you for hating it, given how he saved her, too. And said, I don't care if you kill people. And you know that she has killed people. Caster would have taken my command spell without him, and I'm sure I would have died from that rain of light. But this is different. I can't forgive him for letting Caster go!
Archer, なんでキャスターを逃がした?
Why did you let Caster go?
戦う時ではなかったからだ。ここで切り伏せたところで、あれはすぐさま逃げおせただろう。今の空間転移、見逃したわけではあるまい。
It's because now is not the time to fight her. Even if I did attack her, she would have just run away. Don't tell me you did not see her teleport. What, are you saying that if you did properly aim for her, she would have gotten away? I mean, that's completely fair, but I feel like she was giving the implication that you could have. But I mean, she could have been lying. Maybe that was the whole point. You didn't want it to go into a full-on fight, where if you did aim straight for her... Dash. Was it a gamble, missing on purpose because you don't think you'd actually win the fight, but you want her to think that you would have won the fight? Or are you feeding me a line of bullshit? Dash. That's certainly true. We wouldn't be able to get Caster if she really wanted to get away. After all, this is her territory. It's that witch. Even if she may have been weak, I'm sure she had at least one or two more tricks up her sleeve.
理解できたらしいな。キャスターを倒すのならマスターが先なのだ。いかに空間を飛んで逃れようが、よりしろであるマスターが倒されれば、キャスターとて消えざるを得ないからな。
You understand now. If we want to defeat Caster, we have to defeat her master. Even if she can teleport away, she'll eventually disappear if we defeat her master. So what, that was just strategy? Or are you bullshitting me now? Did you miss because you knew that she would dodge if you went for a sure strike? Is that really true? I could totally see that being the strategy there, but because you didn't think it would actually end in a proper victory, maybe you were doing it for my sake? Maybe you knew if she got desperate, she might harm me more? They did say Archer was almost out of magic after the arrow shot. Sure, but Caster's the one who's running away in this case. So, I mean, she's probably still in a bad position too. So I guess the idea is that they're both kind of weak and so don't want to continue the fight. But, like, she would have been weaker if she had to actually dodge instead of him missing on purpose, so... And I mean, if she was gonna dodge anyway, he could have just been like, after that, alright, now let's stop fighting. I suppose him missing on purpose gives an easier avenue into stopping fighting, where you'd be like, why did you not hit me properly? But, like, he could just hit, she dodges, and then he goes, okay, I'll leave you alive. He doesn't have to continue after that. She's already... I guess him dodging on... I guess if she gets desperate, she might have enough energy to do something, and he doesn't... I suppose. I feel like you could be bullshitting me here, but there's definitely strategy there, and I'm not going to debate it. Going after the master and not the servant. He could be bullshitting us, though. He should be 100% bullshitting us. It could be... I mean, he might have been bullshitting her, but he could have been bullshitting us. So, it's hard to say. He's bullshitting someone. Going after the master and not the servant. That's the correct and the safest approach to the Holy Grail War.
それは分かってる。けど、だからって見逃すのか。
I know that, but you're gonna let her get away?
街で起きてる事件は全部あいつの仕業なんだろう。キャスターを止めない限り犠牲者は出続ける。俺はそんなのを放っておくなんてできない。
The incidents in town are all her doing. There'll be more victims until we stop Castor. I can't ignore her and let her be.
なぜお前自身が傷つくことではあるまい。むしろ奴にはこのまま続けてもらいたいぐらいだ。
Why? It's not something that is harmful to you, because I'm a good person. Actually, I'd like for her to continue. He went out and said it. He wants her to continue. How's Shiro gonna feel about that? It's not something that's harmful to you. I mean, it's true that Shiro, you know, is less and less. He's more willing to think of himself as above bad people, but he still has, you know, those self-worth issues. Thinking they don't deserve to die in place of him. Especially when they're not involved in the war. And, you know, the fire, of course, the traumatic incident, which he always thinks back to. And this is similar to that fire.
キャスターは人々から正気を吸い上げ、その力でバーサーカーを倒す。私たちはその後でキャスターを倒せばいい。
Castor will keep sucking out magical energy and eventually defeat Berserker. We can defeat Castor after that. That's the strategy there. There is some strategy there, I suppose. But I mean, if her magic is eventually going to suck up Saber, you'd be fine with that anyways. You don't want Saber to win? Alright. Always the strategical type. Even though at the detriment to Rin, that's the question. Because, you know, Rin should be in on your plans in theory. You should be talking with her about the plans. Would Rin have agreed to this? Probably not. You said you came here yourself.
私とリンはキャスターは倒せるが、バーサーカーには及ばないのでな。バーサーカーを倒すまで、キャスターには好きにさせておくさ。
Rin and I can defeat Castor, but not Berserker. I'll let Castor do as she wishes until she defeats Berserker. Well, Saber actually can defeat Berserker, believe it or not. She already did it once. Granted, I mean, you helped by taking away several lives, but you know, if we work together properly. My head heats up. I get so pissed off that I want to punch Archer. Maybe some of that disrespect toward Rin from the very beginning in Archer is still in there. Oh yeah, the idea of doing it himself, and Rin, you stay back, let me do my thing. I mean, he learned to respect her more, but he still seems to have his own strategical way of doing things, and maybe doesn't always let Rin in on them. So I suppose there's truth there. I mean, it makes sense to get pissed at that answer. Because he's saying, I mean, it's all about the practicality.
ふざけるな。遠坂、そんな方針は取らない。
Don't be ridiculous. Tosaka won't do such a thing.
そうだな。だからこそ、キャスターには手早くことを済ませてほしいものだ。リンがキャスターに追いつけば、対決は避けられない。
Ooh, you're
その前にキャスター
admitting.
がバーサーカーを退治してくれれば理想的だ。
Admitting to going against Rin. I mean, I could just tell. You went out of your way to save me, so you want me alive. I could just tell Rin about this, you know. Archer and Kiritsugu would have been a perfect pair. Yeah, Archer definitely has. I said it a while back that Archer definitely feels like Kiritsugu-ish. I said it in Timeline 1 with the practicality of it all. You're right, that's why I want Castor to do so as fast as possible. But your goal is less to get a wish from the Grail and more to find out more about it or even destroy it, possibly. Want Castor to do so as fast as possible. We can't avoid fighting if Rin finds Castor. So you found this place without even Rin finding it? Or Rin found it but didn't want to act on it yet? It'd be ideal if Castor can defeat Berserker right before that happens. I mean, she'll find it when Shiro tells her. I mean, maybe Castor will run away and find a different place to make as her temple now that this place is compromised, because we can definitely tell Rin at this point.
何人犠牲になるかは知らんが、それでバーサーカーが倒せるのならば安いものだろう。
I don't know how many people will be sacrificed, but it should be cheap if Berserker can be defeated.
人間など結局は死ぬ生き物。誰にどう殺されようが結果的には変わるまい。
Dark. Humans die anyway. It will not change the ultimate result no matter how they die. I mean, you know, giving them an extra 50, 60 years to live the rest of their life would be nice, but I mean, you have a point. Ellipses exclamation point.
キャスターも手ぬるい。移送魔力だけでなく命まで奪ってしまえばよいもの。町中の人間が死に絶えれば少しは戦いやすくなる。私のマスターも根は甘いからな。
Castor's too reserved.
もはやなりふりなどに構ってはいられまい。
She should not only take their magical energy, but their lives as well. It'll be easier for me to fight if everybody in this town dies. I mean, you don't have to hide yourself, that's true. My master's too optimistic. If that happens, I'm sure she'll do anything to win. I mean, I suppose, but wow, that's dark. That is very Kiritsugu dark. So yes, definitely the Kiritsugu type, if that's your real goal and you're not feeding us a line. I mean, you still have, I mean, what is the real goal anyways? You've said you don't have a wish on the Grail, so I think the goal is still related to, you know, the truth of the Grail and dealing with it. But it'd be funny if, you know, Kiritsugu has a similar mindset, only to have a wish that doesn't really come true. But you have, despite being apparently supposedly more enlightened, because you seem to know the Grail is evil, and maybe you want to get rid of it, or know more about it at least, you're still using the same methods, the same dirty methods to achieve a more knowledgeable result, with the theory that more knowledge from Kiritsugu meant, you know, being a nicer guy, but you maybe have that knowledge and just don't give a shit? If she did that, the association would descend onto this town. It's true, but that's, if anything, just good for Archer, because Castor would get, you know, taken out, as it were. So that's good for Archer too, but... Also, Castor said she was thinking about what comes after. I think she just wants to fight the association and take over the world or something. The Knight in Red states with a smile. Ah yes, he says it with delight. You remember back to the fire and how bad that was. And yet he went out of his way to save you. Does he think that Saber will be a useful partner for him? He initially didn't want the Saber partnership at all. In fact, he wanted to take Saber out. And yet now he goes out of his way to save Shiro. Does he think Shiro will be helpful in fighting who? He already says he wants Castor to beat Berserker. It seems like he could beat Castor without me. So what's the strategic benefit there? I'm not seeing it, Archer. I'm not seeing it. I feel like you're not telling me the whole truth. That the people here are only a bother. He's saying the same thing Castor said. I mean, not exactly, but sure. Yeah. Maybe he's saying a bunch of these things to stir up Shiro, and he doesn't actually mean them, but he wants Shiro to hate him? And he wants Shiro to hate him because yada yada yada? I don't know. Maybe he's trying to provoke him to get his... Maybe he was secretly watching from a distance for a while and hoping Shiro would whip out his superpowers. If Archer knows Shiro has his superpowers, and when they didn't whip out, at the last second he stepped in. Now he's back to provoking Shiro to get him to whip out his superpowers because he knows he has them and he wants them to be trained? And he thinks provoking might help? I suppose, but provoking this way isn't the best way. You want to, you know, endanger one of his loved ones, but I don't think Archer is actually that kind of person. I mean, he let Castor go, but maybe that was more of a...
ああ、お前も知っての通り、リンは形式にこだわるタイプでね。 魔術師としては申し分ないが、マスターとしては汚さに欠ける。
Oh, I think you know that Rin's the type that's concerned with formality. She's great as a magus, but she's not dirty enough as a master. There we go.
そうだな。彼女がキャスターのようになってくれれば、私もここまで苦労はしな
Yeah,
い。
if you're trying to prod Shiro, you're definitely fucking succeeding. And after you said you're a pacifist, you don't mind other people killing and dying, but you're a pacifist? That could have just been a bullshit line anyway, but... Caster's line of "we're the same" I don't think was too far from the truth. I think that was him more in his true element. I want to say he's bullshitting us to try to prod us. I think he still is the softie and he's playing an act, but... He gives off that persona, and it's true to an extent, but I don't think he is quite this dark. I feel like he's purposely prodding us. I wouldn't be this troubled if she would be more like Caster. You! I punch at Archer's face. Of course it does not hit as Archer avoids it without trouble.
何をする？私たちは協力関係ではなかったか？
What are you doing? I thought we were cooperating.
ふざけるな。
Shut up!
俺はお前とは違う。勝つために、結果のために周りを犠牲にするなんて。
I'm not like you.
そんなこと絶対にするものか。
I can't sacrifice people around me to win! That's not true. That's why you hate him so much. The fact that he's willing to sacrifice Saber to win, that's where all your deep hatred is coming from, I would say. Because you hate to admit it, but you sacrificed everyone who saved you in the fire, as it were, to win, to live back then. That was your whole thing, is that everyone saved you around you and you didn't think you were worthy after the fact. But in the moment, you were that kind of person, and that's why you hate seeing him like this. Especially if he is you from the future past, because he doesn't want to admit it. He doesn't want to admit he is like that. But to an extent, Shiro is like that. It just kind of depends on what his goal is.
それは私も同じだ。エミヤシロ。
Oh,
だが、すべての人間を救うことはできまい。
there's the Kiritsugu line that he hates to hear. Maybe he realized... Well, no, he never knew Kiritsugu when he was like this. But yeah, definitely like... I mean, if Kiritsugu was a dad, well, he was like Archer, then... I mean, Shiro probably would be a very differently brought up if that was the case, though. But I feel the same way, Amiya Shiro, but you cannot save everyone. Do you really feel the same way?
例えば、キャスターが聖杯を手に入れてしまえば、被害はこの町だけにとどまるまい。
For example,
それは、イリアスフィールも他のマスターも同じだ。
the damage will extend beyond this town if Castor obtains the Holy Grail. That goes for Eliasville and the other masters. So yeah, you're doing the... It's okay if a good amount of people die in this town. This whole town could die. At least the rest of the world would be safe.
聖杯を私利私欲で使わぬマスターは、私が知る限り、お前とリンだけだからな。故に、私たちが勝利しなければ、被害はさらに大きくなる。
As far as I know, you and Rin are the only masters that will not use the Holy Grail for your own good. Therefore, there will be more victims unless we win the Holy Grail. Shinji winning would definitely be bad. Eliasville winning in this mindset would be bad. Kira is definitely a fucker. Then that leaves me and Rin is 5. Caster is obviously bad. Caster's master is bad. And yeah, that's all 7. So... I mean, we don't know if Caster's master is bad, but Caster's bad, so... Caster just double dips of being bad.
ならば、この町の人間には犠牲になってもらい、私たちの役に立ってもらうしかあるまい。
In that case, we will sacrifice the people in this town for our benefit. But do you truly believe that? Are you truly the Kiritsugu type, or are you acting the Kiritsugu type to prod Shiro? Maybe because last time, you know, whenever you said you saved people and died satisfactorily, maybe it wasn't good enough. Maybe you think if I had only sacrificed them, I could have saved even more people. Maybe that was your resolution? What would Ilya wish for? I don't think it matters. I think she would have just probably given it to her people, and she seems like a puppet to me anyways. I don't think she has much of a wish beyond just giving it to her family and letting them use it for whatever. I mean, I guess I don't think she has enough agency to have her own wish, but if she did have her own wish, though, she might just make Shiro her plaything anyways, because of the Kiritsugu connection, but...
その結果で被害を抑えられるのなら、お前の方針と同じだろうさ。
It'll be exactly as you want if the damage is reduced as a result. And the thing that Kiritsugu said to you long ago about you can't save everyone's gonna play in your mind after he says that, and that's definitely gonna test you, that's for sure. That hot dog aftertaste. Dash. It's a curse. Grail swing, which is bad. Very true. Very true. So you have to deal with it, and I think Archer knows that to an extent. Maybe that's why he does go to such an extreme. It's like we have to kill this thing for good. My head is numb. He doesn't need to tell me that. One cannot save everyone. Yeah, Kiritsugu already told you that back in the day. Kiritsugu always said that. So I shouldn't feel anything even if he says so, but it just pisses me off because of how he's acting towards it. It's because it's him saying it, because of the way he says it.
無関係な人間を巻き込みたくないと言ったな。
You said you do not want to involve innocent people, right?
ならば認めろ。一人も殺さない。などという方法では結局誰も救えない。
Then accept it. Nobody can be saved if you try to save everybody. I don't know, maybe everybody can be saved. I mean, some of the fuckfaces, whatever, Kirei, fuck him, Shinji, fuck him. But like, Caster, fuck him. But I think, if you're really good and try hard enough, I mean, obviously, if you fail and people die, oh well, get over it. But, I think be prepped for the understanding that you might not save everyone. However, if there's a way to try, and if it's not too risky, and I don't know that killing Caster now is too risky. Like, there are other ways to beat Berserker. I mean, I get what you're saying, but letting everyone in this town die? Very stone cold way of looking at it.
キャスターの言う通り、残念ながら私たちは似た者同士だ。犠牲者を出したくないというのなら、協力し合うしかあるまい。
Admitting it. As Caster said, we're similar. Unfortunately, we would have to cooperate if we do not want any victims. Are you bullshitting him? Are you just prodding him? Or are you being genuine? This is very fun. If you were to see this and then see Fate Zero, it would be an interesting contrast to see that Kiritsugu is basically just Archer. With personality-wise. It all depends on where it goes, though, because we know where Kiritsugu goes. Although, in theory, if you saw this first, you would know where they both go. Because you know where Kiritsugu goes in Fate Zero Stay Night. And then eventually in Fate Stay Night, we're gonna see the end of Archer's character arc. So you know both when you get to... But anyways. We know in Timeline 1 that we can save this town without any sacrifices. Sure. But maybe it's not a permanent saving. Maybe there's, if you really want to permanently end it, there's got to be some more funky. Possibly. I guess Saber has already said that in Timeline 1 that Kiritsugu is kind of a baddie bad, but I don't know if we had a clear idea that he was this much of a baddie bad, or that he had quite the same reason for being a baddie bad.
違う。俺はお前なんかとは組まない。お前なんて絶対に認めない。
Maybe deep down Shiro has an understanding that this is what his father was like beforehand. He could maybe see it within him, because maybe he is good at reading people deep down, and that's why he hates it so much? That's a possibility. No, I won't cooperate with you. I will never accept you!
そうか。お前が信じたものはリンだけだったな。
I see. You only trust Rin after all. I mean, I arguably trust Saber too, but sure. I turn my back to Archer. I'm different from him. Are you, though? Would you really get so mad if you were different from him? It might not be the exact same mindset, but I think you're more alike than you want to admit. If I can't ignore Castor, there's only one thing I need to do.
まさかキャスターを追うつもりか
Do not tell me you'll go after Castor. I ignore him and keep walking. Yeah, what's going on with Saber, by the way? Did Assassin run away? Probably. She probably retreated when Castor was like, okay, we're done. You can stop. I'm heading inside the temple. Oh, is she just in the temple? Is that the notion? Since this is Castor's territory, her workshop has to be inside the temple somewhere. Could be hidden deep underground or something, honestly, but...
信じられんなお前一人ではキャスターにかなうべくもない
I can't believe it.
You
cannot match Castor by yourself. You should stop if you don't want to die. Archer follows me as if he has more to say. He's invested in me living.
まったくせっかく助けてやった命を無駄にするのか
Man, are you gonna throw away the life that I've saved? So many people have saved your life to this point, Shiro. And you hate being saved. Survivor's guilt.
それは構わんがせめて感謝の一言でも残したらどうだ
Liar. That's definitely a lie. I don't mind, but at least thank me before you die. Because you went out of your way to do it. You went out of your way to do it without Rin's orders. To me, that says you care. You definitely care. You're just being coy. You just don't want to admit how much you care, because if you know that if you admit how much you care, he can go in with confidence because you'll go in and protect him. And you don't want him to go in.
先ほどの女性は私なりの行為だったのだがね命の恩人とまではいかないが視線を共にくぐり抜けた友人ぐらいにはありがたがってほしいものだ
I helped you out of kindness. I won't ask you to treat me like your savior, but at least thank me like a friend. He very much doesn't like you right now, so I'm not sure if he can. Ellipses, exclamation point. Man, he's really getting on my nerves.
うるさい誰がお前なんかに友情を感じるもんかいいからさっさと遠坂のところに帰れ頼まれたってお前の手助けなんていらないんだから
Shut up! I won't feel any friendship towards you! Just go back to Tosaka's place. I won't ask for your help even if you offer it to me! I look away and walk toward the temple again. We're not leaving this unfinished, huh, Shiro? Is this one Saber? I mean, I guess Saber's still fighting Assassin if she really is hiding in this temple. I mean, it would seem like an awkward narrative swerve for the fight to just continue at this point. I think it's more likely that Castor's not here or she's hiding underneath. She didn't want to risk, Archer changing his mind and coming after her. There.
そうか懐かれなくて何よりだ
I see. Good thing you don't like me. What? Excuse me? I won't ask for your help even if you offer it to me. Good thing you don't like me. What are you trying to say? A chilling intent to kill comes from behind me. Wait, what? Huh? Who? What? It wouldn't be Archer, because, I mean, you killing me? Because he saved me. He literally, what? What? Is it Castor? Was she hiding all along for some good chance? And she's like, fuck it, we'll kill... Or is it Shinji? Was he snooping? Or assassin? Or... I jump back, so I turn around. At the same time, Archer swings his sword. At who? Who is behind me? It's a good thing you don't like me, then. Is he going to save you again? Or is he attacking you? I don't think he's attacking you. Oh, he's attacking you to save you. I understand. Okay, that is what he's attacking you. He's injuring you so you don't go in because he doesn't want you to get killed. I understand what's happening now. He's injuring you so that you don't get killed. Gotcha. I'm cut at my shoulder. My blood comes flowing out. My consciousness will fade away if I let my guard down. Oops, dropped my sword into your back violently. I wonder, how badly were you injured? Were you so badly injured you normally die if it wasn't for Avalon? Does Archer know about Avalon? Yeah, if Archer knows Shiro has Avalon, then it would definitely be more convenient for him. He did notice, if he was paying attention, he has good eyesight. He might have noticed Shiro regenerating earlier on, assuming he doesn't already know. But also he might have just attacked weakly enough that it wouldn't kill him anyway. But we're all Shiro. Wise is Shiro. Renegade is Shiro. Everyone is a little bit Shiro on the inside. My blood comes flowing out, and my consciousness will fade away if I let my guard down. The pain is so sharp that it feels like my body is burning. We're definitely gonna have a talk with Rin about this afterwards, but... Oh, wise is Nasu, I understand. I back up with wobbling steps. Shiro is wise, you shut up. Shiro wasn't wise in Timeline 1, he's gotten wiser now. He's still not at his wise peak, he's got to improve, but he's getting better. It's not to run away. I just don't have any power, so my feet move back to try to keep my body upright. You...
外したか。さっき抑えきれなかった私の落ち度か。とっさに反応したお前の起点か。まあ、どちらでも構わないが。
I missed, huh? It must have been my mistake in letting out my intent to kill. Or it must have been your cleverness in jumping back instantly. Well, I don't care either way. Oh, you trying to play it off like you were trying to kill me? Seems to me like you injured me on purpose, so that I wouldn't get killed. You're claiming that you were actually trying to kill me, but maybe that's just to keep prodding me. Or are you being genuine? I don't think so. But, to humor the idea for a second, maybe he only saved Shiro earlier because his spells were about to get taken and Saber would have turned against him and he didn't want that. Still, though, he didn't just save him from that. He saved him later on from the light shower as well. So I do think you're being coy right now. I think you're being very Sun. Archer walks toward me with the sword wet with my blood. I don't think Archer really wants to kill Shiro. I don't think there's much point, given that Archer went out of his way to save Shiro. I think he's got an ultimate goal there. Archer is an ultimate pragmatic. Yeah, I don't think he would monologue. I think he would go in for the continued kill. I think he is just trying to injure. Maybe he knew to an extent that Shiro would partially dodge and expected it. Or he was willing to injure him enough and then use magic to heal him just back to the brink of life. If he knows he has Avalon, then he'll know even more that a sharp attack won't fully kill him. I'll be killed. I feel that I'll be killed, so I move my feet in desperation. I don't think he's gonna kill you. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so. The temple's exit. Yes, the temple's exit. Maybe that's the whole idea. He wants you to run away, not go into the temple. I slowly retreat, trying to make my way to the mountain gate. Dash, 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 dash. He must know this is a fatal wound. Archer walks toward me without hurry. No, he's walking toward you without hurry because he doesn't want you to die. And it seems like a fatal wound, but he believes you'll pull through because of Avalon. My mind's fading. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm heading to the mountain gate. I don't know why I was attacked. My mind is flowing out along with my blood. Heading to the gate because it's an escape and also because Saber is there. Maybe I'm still conscious because of the sword he's holding. Oh? Looking at that sword again, huh? The white short sword. Does it give some way for you to live? Enamored by that white short sword, huh? Are you the white and he's the black? Because he's a little darker skinned? The plain swords are captivating my eyes. And they're stopping me from closing them. That's definitely a weird kind of kink, to fall in love with the sword that cut you. It comes to an end. The mountain gate is behind me when I realize, even though the steps are somewhere behind me, I can't even turn around. Yin and yang, two sides, indeed. The Shiro and, we don't know his real name. Could just be Shiro again. Archer and Shiro, yeah. Literally dying. Also Shiro. That sword, though! Like, ooh! Yeah. It's because Archer will slash Emiya Shiro's body in half the moment I turn my back. He wants to instill that fear in you so you run. Maybe that fear is necessary. He does want you to live, but I think he's instilling the killing instinct just so you get away, because he knows you can feel it.
最後だ。戦う意義のないエミヤ四郎はここで死ね。
This is it. Since you do not have a reason to fight, die here. Are you just trying to give me a reason to fight? Are you trying to prod me to use my superpowers? Do you actually want to kill me? Why would you save me then? Huh? He raises his sword. Are you playing coy? Is this still coy? The white yin sword is raised like a guillotine.
戦う意義だって。
Reason to fight? The reason to fight? He wants to save people. He wants bad people to not get the Grail. I mean, I admit it's stupid for him to go to and just challenge Caster. He should wait till he's reunited with Saber. I'm not gonna deny that. For sure, he's being dumb in the moment. He's letting his emotions lead him.
そうだ。自分のためではなく、誰かのために戦うなど、ただの偽善だ。お前が望むものは勝利ではなく平和だろう。
That's right. It's only hypocrisy for you to fight for someone else and not yourself. You only wish for peace and not victory. I mean, you don't really have a wish either, though. And he is fighting, well, I guess you could argue he's fighting for Saber, because he knows she has a wish. So he becomes a sword sexual, gets a harem of unlimited blades. For sure. You only wish for peace and not victory. You have to think about what victory means to you. This is one way to instill a lesson into him. I guess we could do it in these circumstances. We could have waited till I was more chipper, but I suppose arguably protagonists learn more when they're injured anyways. It's only hypocrisy for you to fight for someone else and not yourself. Woof. Well, Shiro definitely doesn't want the whole town dying because there's people in the town he cares about. Specific people, anyways. Archer's pulling a Kirei? I mean, to an extent, maybe. But I think he's a bit more of a nice Kirei because he wants him to go in a better direction. Impromptu therapeutic session. Yeah, but with Kirei, he wanted him to go full evil and messed up when Shiro gave the wrong good answer. Such a thing does not exist anywhere in this world. What? I oppose Archer's words in my fading consciousness. And he lets it fade. He wanted to let that sink in, to let you think about it while you dream and think about what your real goal is, and to be smarter about it. Because even if you oppose him, just walking on Caster without Archer's cooperation means you probably almost, certainly would have died. It was a dumb move. You should have at least gotten Saber to help you out first. You were definitely misthinking. So, maybe he is trying to get you to think more about what your victory is, what victory means to you, and how you achieve it, instead of just a loose, make sure no one bad wins. Which is fine, but what do you define as bad? Where do you draw the line? And who at what point is someone gooder than someone else, and is it okay to let them win instead? My body and mind are about to disappear.
さらばだ。理想を抱いて溺死しろ。
Really? You gonna kill me? Wait, really? Are you screwing with me? Farewell. Drown in your ideals and die. His voice is filled with hatred. He swings the yin sword Bakuya. Archer is hatreding at his own past self, who was too naive. I've said this before in Timeline 1, the idea of that, he used to be that naive, but became more cynical towards the end, and so he hates the Shiro, and Shiro hates the Archer, who is that cynical. But would you really kill me at this point? I don't think so. Unless you just want me to go to a different timeline, unless you know this will timeline jump me, you think your personality isn't going to work for what we need to do to save the universe. I need you to have a better personality. I'm going to timeline jump you by killing you. If he knows, I don't know, maybe that's what his mindset is. Maybe that's why he saves me, because he needs me, and he's like, is this the right timeline? He's like, oh, you have the wrong personality. I'm sorry, you're the wrong version of Shiro. We're in the wrong timeline. And then, I don't know. He aims for the wound on my shoulder to cut my body for sure this time. Really? Right before that? I want to oppose him so much that I jump backwards. Oh? His sword cuts through air and my body flies through the air. The bottomless darkness is behind me. A big impact. After that, my body rolls down the stairs. Oh, that would hurt. There's a lot of stairs. Are they not fighting anymore? Oh, is that? Oh, right. That's fucking assassin. What is it? Nandato. I hear an unfamiliar voice.
Shiro.
Yeah, it's me. Was he really trying to kill me, or did he expect me to jump out of the way? I can't. I think he expected me to jump out of the way. I think. I think he was moving slow enough. He wanted to test my confidence in a dark kind of way. Trial by fire. I also hear a familiar voice. Saber. My vision is almost gone. I try to lift my body up and fall into the steps. Oh boy. If he really did get killed by Archer at this point, and Rin found out, there'd be words. I mean, Archer might explain it away by lying, but yeah, Shiro, he did take a big attack and didn't die from it. But we've seen that he can die despite the Avalon. So I think it is based on his willpower. Maybe if Archer knows that, he can test his willpower by prodding him with the right questions. But if he's got enough willpower, even the craziest wounds won't kill him. But if his willpower is lacking, lesser wounds can kill him from what we've seen. But
Shiro, しっかり。ここまでの傷を負わせて、なお階段から叩き落としたのか。
Please hold on, Shiro. You were pushed down the steps with this wound? I kind of jumped back toward the steps. I'd like to think maybe Archer knows about Avalon. That makes him a little less, because he's really injured. I would assume he had a chance to see it, even if he doesn't know Shiro is Archer, and even if they're not the same person with the future past. He would have seen Shiro extra healing yesterday, or a couple days ago, whenever it was, and maybe would have had the realization of, oh, that's what he is. And so he would have known that this wouldn't have hurt him, and he can test him that way because of this. If that's the case, then sure, Archer would lie by saying Caster killed Shiro, for sure. But at this point, Saber's caught on, so now it's kind of hard to get around it. You were pushed down the steps with this wound? Yeah, and it would have happened if Archer didn't come, that's fair. Although Archer, it would have been a little different, because Caster would have stolen the command spells, and, Saber, but yeah. Is it Saber? Saber supports my body while she talks with urgency. Indeed. That's bad. Yabai. I don't know who it is, but there's another servant here. She'll get attacked without being able to defend herself. She's so worried about me. He won't attack. He's too honorable. I mean, I think he's honorable. Even though he's summoned by Caster, he seems like a nice guy. His alignment says evil, but he seems like a nice guy. It's fine, Saber.
黙って。まだ間に合います。シロの回復量ならこのまますぐに帰還すれば。
Oh, knowledgeable. Be quiet, we'll still make it. With your healing powers, which you did notice before, and you can be more alert to them now, I suppose. If you return home quickly, right away. She must have realized after saying that much. Oh? What, assassin? Archer? What is it? Saber turns back to the servant, still supporting me.
アサシン。なぜ私を撃たなかった？
Because he's honorable. Right, when, you know, when she was distracted with him, Assassin could have attacked, and he didn't. Assassin, why did you not attack me?
それこそ無粋。刹那の花を摘むことなど誰にもできぬ。
That would be too rude. Nobody can pick a flower that only appears for an instant. He's honorable. He wants to beat you at your best, and he doesn't like this muddy Shiro getting in the way of your beautiful fight. Ellipses question mark? Saber tilts her head in wonder, unable to understand her enemy's intention.
何その横顔に見とれただけよ。果たし合う顔も良かったが、今の張り詰めようも捨てがたくてな。ついめでてしまったの。
Well, Shiro's less of a saber-sexual this time, and Gilgamesh is off doing whatever, so I guess somebody's got a hit on her. I was charmed by your face. Your fighting face was nice, but your tense face is beautiful as well. I had to admire it. Is it a kimono? The traditionally dressed servant turns his back.
今宵はこれで十分。
Oh.
立ち去るがいい。
Yep.
セイバー。
The honorable response. This is enough for tonight. Leave, Saber. And what, you want to fight, Archer?
私たちを見逃すというのか、アサシン。
What, are you gonna let us go, Assassin? Yeah, he doesn't seem to like Castor very much. He has to follow her orders to an extent. But I think he has some free will, because if he doesn't, he'd be much more ruthless. Unless Castor likes the cat and mouse and deliberately summoned a servant with opposed views to her own.
そうだ。この続き、いずれ果たすというのなら見逃そう。
Yes. If you promise to continue this battle someday, I'll let you go.
今のお前では満足な戦いは望めまい。私とてそれは惜しい。
You can't fight to your satisfaction like this. That is not my wish. So, more or less the same thing has happened. Shiro in the other timeline came upon, in timeline 1, he had to follow Saber, and then they were fighting, and it's like, oh shit, there's a civilian here, we can't continue like this, get out of here. But at this one, Shiro managed to escape, which Castor didn't want that to happen, but at that point, Assassin's like, well, Castor wanted to do something, that's not my responsibility. I want to fight you more, and he's in the way. So... Saber glares at Assassin. And Assassin stares calmly at Saber. The breathtaking stare down continues for less than 10 seconds.
わかりました、アサシン。あなたとの決着は必ず。
I understand, Assassin. I shall settle this match someday. And we never see him again in this timeline. He dies off screen again. That's what happened last time. Although this time I think there's more of a mutual agreement. Because last time, Saber came here gung-ho because of the tip. And Shiro's the one who went to follow after and be like, what are you doing? And Saber, you know, I think was less honor-bound to continue the fight. Here, though, you know, she came here coming to save Shiro, and Assassin lets him go. So there's more of a reason for Saber to respect Assassin. I mean, there's still a reason last time, but there's more of a reason now.
良い返事だ。期待しているぞ、騎士王よ。
That's a good response. I'll be waiting, King of Knights. He knows who you are! Saber goes down the steps with me in her arms. But I see the knight in red running down from the mountain, determined to not let me go. Oh, you're still coming after me? Really? You want me to prove myself and not just be carried by my lady friend?
アーチャー
Yeah, he's maybe fighting us now, maybe. Maybe our alliance is off, maybe. Rin needs to maybe put a tighter leash on him, maybe. Saber says so in wonder. He said that he will kill only when he swears to kill. He's kind of sworn to kill. There's no way Archer will let me go. Oh, he kills only when he swears to kill, but also he kills when he swears to kill? If he used his sword to kill me, I'm sure he'll kill me here no matter what. I still am doubting that was his real intention, but... His red robe flutters like a wing. It doesn't matter if Saber's here or not. Archer jumps down and slashes his sword at me. Oh, fuck! Saber's swords clash! The swords attacked with lightning speed. Okay, apparently Saber and Archer continue a fight. I thought Archer would just maybe let me go at this point, but I guess he wants to see me maybe more prove him, or he does want to kill me. But okay. So things are still continuing at a brisk pace. Well then, let's make another save. Rematch. But with the servants instead of the masters. If he actually wanted to kill him, what changed during that conversation that changed his mind? Yeah. Something big for sure, because he had a reason for coming to save him, so. Rematch with Saber versus Archer. How much of this will there be? Huh. The swerve into an Archer fight. I definitely didn't expect this. Okay. Right, so. I have to pee and stuff. This will probably be our final intermission of the stream. Swords clash. The swords attack with lightning speed. Archer Saber rematch. Finally, let's go. Didn't expect it after we just recently teamed up with Tosaka, but oh boy. Archer with his agency. When he's not super injured, he definitely has more agency. The intercepting blade parries Archer's attack and goes for his neck. Ooh, just like she tried to do last time. Maybe that is what timeline 3 would be. Saber, just straight up kill Archer. He was a bitch last time. Oh, Assassin is getting involved because he doesn't want to. Oh, that shows how he's so nice. Assassin's too nice. Why has he got an evil alignment? What? Assassin? He's still not listening. Why does he have an evil alignment? He's so nice. He's helping us because. Why? I don't get it. Caster's so mean. Assassin's so nice. Why? Archer twists his body and lands back down. Intercepting blade. The intercepting blade is not Saber's, but Assassin's. It's all come for a full circle. First, Archer saved me from Caster. Now, Assassin, by extension of Caster. I mean, probably not really. He's probably has his own. I mean, if he didn't, then he wouldn't be doing all these nice things. Own agency to an extent. Saves, by way of Caster, saves me from Archer. Maybe now we really should team up with Caster. At least team up with Assassin. He's a nice guy. Archer twists his body and lands back down. The knight in red cannot come down the steps, being blocked off by the servant in a kimono. Are you gonna get in my way, samurai? Thought you agreed you weren't gonna fight Caster right now. Archer readies his twin swords and faces the servant assassin. The final boss of UBW is Archer. It definitely could be. I could see them building up to that for sure. This is a very unexpected twist, and it's a little early if they're building to him being the final boss of the timeline. But maybe. There could be an early slow burn build, for sure. Assassin readies his sword as if nothing has happened. Which Archer? Oh, right. All the archers, always the final bosses.
それはこちらのセリフだ。貴様こそ見逃すと言った私の邪魔をするつもりか?
That is my line. Are you going to get in my way when I have told them that I will let them go? Oh boy. He says so with delight. Archer seems a bit angry at it, but Assassin, he's delighted to be a nice guy, for sure. I'll team up with Caster if it means I can team with you, yeah! Hey, you might get your Rin rematch. Well, okay, look, I want a Rin rematch because Shio and Rin didn't fully resolve. The Archer thing I could have taken either way, but okay, I'm down, sure. didn't expect it to come out like this if this is gonna be a thing that leads towards it, but... Oh... I don't know what he's thinking, but he must really be letting us go.
加えて私の役割はここの門番だ。生きては倒産し、生きては解散。
In any event, my role is to guard this gate. I won't let you through alive, nor will I let you out alive. Well, I mean, Shiro, I guess, you know, was let through when you weren't on guard duty or whatever, but... I mean, Shiro did just come through the gate, though, but I guess you weren't paying attention. But now that he's through, you let him through at this point, but you're paying attention to Archer, so you're not going to let him through? I suppose there's merit to that. But I mean, I guess if Saber agrees at this point, and he's not distracted with Saber, Caster could, you know, double team him and take out Archer this way. It's not impossible. Oh, man. Shiro technically got permission from Caster. I mean, yeah, true. Did he get permission both ways, though?
雪は見逃したが、帰りは別だ。いささか雅にかける首だが、今宵はそれで収めるとしよう。
I let you go on your way in, because you were dealing with Saber, but you still noticed him. I see. Caster and Shiro team up against Rin and Archer. I mean, by extension, that's kind of what's happening. It's a different story on your way out. Your head is not elegant, but I shall accept it for tonight. His intent to kill leaks out. Assassin's intent to kill is as sharp as his longsword. So, Archer saved me from Caster, then Assassin saved me from Archer. Cool! It's not overbearing like the ones Archer and Saber have. It's just a casual intent to kill, of course. But an enmity sharpened to the extreme is going for the enemy's neck.
よく言った。セイバーに傷一つつけられなかったキャスターの手駒風情が、この俺と戦うと。
Well said. A mere tool of Caster that could not even hurt Saber is going to fight me? Oh, you're talking down Saber? You know, couldn't even hurt Saber. You think Saber's not that big of a deal?
貴様こそ、あのメギツネを驚かせようと送ったというのに、我が身可愛さで逃げ帰るとは失望したぞ。
That's a new appearance and also some extra insight into his personality. I mean, it's been clear from the start that he doesn't seem to... He has clear opposed views and is more honorable, but that's definitely telling, that line. That goes for you as well. I sent you in to surprise that fox, but I'm disappointed that you came back for your own safety. He's hoping Caster gets killed. Because then it would just be like any other master where he can potentially switch masters and team up with someone who maybe is nicer and would give him a real chance of winning. I see. So to an extent he has to do what Caster says. But if he is totally willing to nudge the line a little bit and let someone kill Caster if they get the chance. Okay. I can see that for sure. Came back for your own safety. I don't think that wasn't the reasoning he gave, but they only confront each other for a short while. They attack each other with amazing techniques. I'm fascinated by the scene. To be honest, I can't understand Assassin's technique. Even to my experienced eyes, I mean, yes, you have experienced eyes, but they're not magically experienced. I mean, they are, but like, you don't know. I mean, but it's way too fast and too sharp. But that's why I'm fascinated by his technique. Archers? Because he has the swords you have a hard-on for? Or you have a hard-on for, Kojiro now? The dancing twin swords. No, it's Archer. It's Archer. You love those swords. I understand. Archer is defending Assassin's incomprehensible attacks with a technique I might be able to acquire. Wait. I was just reading without thinking. Archer's defending Assassin's incomprehensible attacks with a technique I might be able to acquire. Where does that come from, Shiro? Where does that come from? The notion that you and he are one in the end? That you could dual wield? You've never been one to dual wield before. You've not even in the other timeline. Where does this idea that you could acquire it come from, huh? Huh, Shiro? Huh? For someone who you seem to dislike so much, you sure have a hard-on for his swords. To be honest, you could say I admire it. He's fighting off Assassin's demonic technique, with techniques only trained by his will and not his natural talent. You can just tell that from watching him. Techniques only trained by his will and not his natural talent. Just like Shiro. Well, Shiro debatably has natural talent, but you know, because he's got some... Anyways. Trained by his will. Damn, it's natural that he's strong. And you hate that because you hate him, but you like that he's good, but you hate that he's good? Strength unlike Tosaka or Saber. Unlike Tosaka is a fair thing to say. Saber? What, because you think Saber is... Why? What do you think the real difference is between Archer and Saber, Like, Saber certainly trained hard to be where she is. But you think she had teachers and stuff to teach her that, whereas you think he just picked it up freeform? Is that what you're suggesting? All the training he went through because he's not extraordinary. I mean, yeah, I kind of got the feeling, too, that you and him were the same, and that would be true, because you're not that extraordinary. But you can really tell that by watching him fight, because he's certainly never said as much. Because he's not extraordinary. I guess you can, you really have good eyesight. You can tell the flow of the fight. You're like, his moves aren't great, but they're like, he makes them work anyways. Huh. Interesting. He probably had nothing. That's why he took the small thing he had, trained it with all his might, and got it to that level. I mean, you have a small thing as well. The strength thing, but also the sword birth. Are you gonna get it to that level? See you for the future!
Shiro, 今のうちにどちらにせよあなたの体は早く休ませなければ
Wait, I have to jack off to his swords a little bit longer, Saber, please. Shiro, let us go now. We have to treat your body. But I want to jack off to the swords of the guy that's trying to kill me. Let me get killed by those pretty swords, please. Oh! Sure, your death-seeking habits are coming back. It's a different kind of death-seeking, though. This time he truly embraces it, instead of, you know, being a get-out-of-jail-free card after, you know, he's kind of saved someone, maybe. I come back to reality with Saber's voice. Oh, okay, Saber does snap me out of it. I guess, you know, she has that effect on me to an extent, but Archer is Rock Lee. I don't know. If he's Rock Lee, then I'm surprised he's doing as well as he is, because, you know that story of Rock Lee. He does the really cool thing when you first see him, and he's like, hard work will always overcome blah, blah, blah. But it's not true. Not in that show, anyways. Passed on gifts and, you know, learning from the best teachers is generally all that matters in that show at the end of the day. And then people like Lee that don't get enough passed on gifts or don't get enough best teachers end up folding into the background after a while, not amounting to much. I come back to reality with Saber's voice. Hard work can definitely overcome in Shonen, but not in Naruto. I come back to reality with Saber's voice. We leave Ryudo Temple with Saber carrying me. The clashing of assassin and archer can still be heard behind us. We leave the Ryudo Temple with Saber carrying me. It's always, I'm successful because hard work. Totally ignores OP superpowers. Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes you can be successful because of hard work, but you also happen to have superpowers. It's true, it's generally more interesting when they have some kind of hidden bullshit. It's usually, like, you want the plot twist, right? Secretly, your parents are X and Y, who are super cool. That's a fun plot twist, but it also means you inherited some of their bullshit, which makes you a little bullshit. So it's not fully hard work, is it? Which, I think that's fine. That's why you just have to be careful with the messages you're giving. It's generally more interesting to have the side characters, like Lee, for example, be the ones that are more hard work and don't have the gifts. I think it's fine to have the main characters be, oh, you got passed on gifts. I think that's fine. Just don't have a narrative where the hard-working guy, even if he doesn't quite keep up with the main character, don't have him fall to the side and be mostly pointless by the end, like they do with Lee. I think you can strike a balance and have the plot twisty, oh, you're secretly related to whoever, which makes you special. while also having the side characters that do train through proper hard work and don't have a bullshit plot twist past and can be relevant for a long time. I think it's possible to do that, even if, you know, a show like Naruto failed to do so. The clashing of Assassin and Archer can still be here behind us. Is it over? Oh, fuck! My wound is almost healed by the time we get back. We just get away. The next talk with Rin we have is gonna be awkward. Oh.
セイバーとつながってるからセイバーの治癒能力がついてきているんじゃない？
Saber's self-healing powers might be flowing into you since you're connected with her. Yes, but actually no. No, but actually yes. Avalon, but like, Story ain't really a shonen, so it doesn't have those themes. It's about people and their mental health and growth. Oh yeah, for Fate, yeah. Definitely a lot about people's mental states and stuff, for sure. Saber's self-healing powers might be flowing into you. Kind of, but not really, but kind of. Tosaka's guess might be right as my wound heals faster when Saber's touching me. Kind of. Not quite, but kind of.
それで一体何があったのですか、シロ。
So what happened, Shiro? Archer saved me, then tried to kill me. That's the short version. Saber demands an explanation once we get to the dojo after treating my wound and getting changed. I tried to tell her all the important things. Archer saved me. Then he said he wanted to leave Castor alive so she could kill more people and kill Berserker. And then I got mad, and then he attacked me. And then the assassin saved me from him. Basically, that's the shortest way to put things, I think. How I was controlled by Oh yeah, there's that part too, I suppose. I feel like Saber would have inferred that much, but... Controlled by Castor, I went to the temple. The relationship between Castor and the coma incidents happening in town. How Archer came and saved me when my command spell was about to get taken away. And how Archer tried to kill me in the end. Saber is pondering something. Pondering Archer's motivations. After all, he did save you and then tried to kill you? What's up with that? I'm sure she wants to first organize things in her head since so many things occurred in one night.
なるほど。では、アーチャーはキャスターを見逃したのですか？
I see. Then Archer let Castor go. Indeed he did.
はあ、見逃したさ。あいつは最低だ。いくら勝つためでも、キャスターみたいなやつを利用するだなんて。
Yeah, he let her
そ
go.
れじゃキャスターと何も変わらないじゃないか。
He's the worst guy ever. He's not any different from Castor if he's using Castor to win. He hates him so much because Shiro could see himself doing such a thing, and hates that because it really forces him to confront that idea. You know, doing the bad things to get the good result, what Kirei was trying to prod him towards in Timeline 1, but ultimately failed to do so. But, you know, that would be where such strong hatred comes from, because Shiro knows that, you know, one wrong move, and he could potentially end up in that position, so he hates that so much. I really love the Shiro-Archer dynamic. So simply, it's so interesting. I don't think it's quite that simple. There's a lot of layers, in my opinion. The cynic versus the idealist? Which one's the cynic and which one's the... I mean, no, okay, obviously Archer's the cynic. But, I mean, there's debatably hidden layers even between that. But... it pisses me off again now that I recall it. He still went out of his way to save you, though. I mean, then he tried to kill you, but that might have all been a show. Hard to say. Damn, I should have punched him in his face back then. Then, oh, she gets happy. Saber has a weird expression. Oh, she's getting happy at how mad I am at Archer, I suppose?
セイバー、なんでそこで笑うんだよ。
Saber, why are you smiling? Oh, hey, this gives more credence to Shinji, actually. Unintentionally, Archer's being kind of a douche face and not doing, debatably, unless he's got some hidden agenda, which, I mean, he might have anyways, but on the surface, Archer's being a douche face and not doing things Rin would be doing. He even admitted as much. So, this gives more credence to Shinji's story that, oh, Ryder was just doing things without me telling her to. I totally wouldn't have wanted her to do that. So, unwittingly, this is giving more credence to that story and more reason for Shiro to believe it, which is bad because he shouldn't, because he's a lying jerkface, but this is giving more reason to believe it because Archer clearly was going against Rin, from what we can tell there. Anyways, Saber, why are you smiling?
いいえ、シローが人の悪口を言うなんて珍しいと思いまして。まだ数日ほどしかシローを見ていませんが、あなたはそんな風に陰口を言う人ではないと分かってい
You're
ました
happy
から。
that I'm insulting someone? I mean, I guess I get it, but I think I'd get it more if you were you'd seen timeline 1. I guess maybe you really just have seen the heart of Shiro already this quickly, but it doesn't feel like you've known each other for that long, and yet you seem to have a beat on him already if you're happy that he's insulting someone. I thought it's rare for you to insult someone. I've only been with you for, Saber's into bad boys. I don't think that's quite what she's getting at. I've only been for you for a few days, but I understand that you are not one to insult others. But he's insulting him, which is healthy because he's normally too down on himself. Did you already realize that, Saber? Quick on the uptake if that's the case. Insulting someone else means you actually value your own self to some extent. You have to value yourself more than them to get that way. Because you don't even really, bitch out Shinji. I think subconsciously you just don't think much of him, at least pre-war. You think he's not really worth the effort. I mean, he is when Sakura's concerned, but when he's doing his belittling insults, they don't really sting that much because you can tell he's all facade. Well, until now with his Grail War bullshit. But Archer clearly has backing behind his words, and they're so opposed, but also close enough to what Shiro thinks that it grinds his gears and all that. But huh? Now that she mentions it, I contemplate my immature actions for complaining.
けどしょうがないだろう。アーチャーはそれだけのことを言ったんだ。あいつは何より相棒の登坂をバカにしたんだぞ。
But I can't help it. Archer said things that deserve it. And most of all, he insulted his own partner, Tosaka. If the timeline theory is true, maybe Saber's getting some timeline fuckery from their link. Maybe. I did think that the timeline seemed to be mostly fucking around with Shiro specifically, which is why I'm like, is Saber really getting any of that? They do have a connection, so maybe some of it's starting to seep through, but so far I was going under the assumption that it was all just based around Shiro. Maybe, though, some of it's seeping in. That's not impossible for sure.
そうですね。ですがシロー、一つ尋ねますが、シローはアーチャーの裏切りが許せないのですか？
Yes, but Shiro, I would like to ask something. Are you angry at Archer's betrayal? Maybe Saber is also thinking Archer did it to save Shiro, because otherwise Castor might have killed him. Possibly. I mean, that's definitely a possibility, but is that what she's thinking?
どうも、あなたは彼に切りつけられたことを怒っているようには見えない。
No, it seems you're not mad at Archer for attacking you. No, mad for his viewpoints. Because Shiro doesn't care that much necessarily about his own life, but rather about the ideals Archer's presenting. And yeah, to an extent, Shiro still doesn't care that much about his own life. He's growing, he's learning, but there's still going to be some of that death-seeking in there. Or rather, the lack of caring about the death coming for him. Huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be that salty about getting attacked by him. You just saved me, why? No, he definitely cares a lot more about the ideals because he realizes how probably, a touch away from things he's thought before are, or think subconsciously. The fact that Archer tried to kill me would be betrayal. But that's what?
それは違う。あいつは俺を裏切ったわけじゃない。
No, it doesn't mean he betrayed me. Oh! You think he was saving you because Castor would have killed me? Castor would have killed you? Are you admitting as much? Or what?
初めからあいつとは何も約束していなかった。だからアーチャーが俺を襲ってもそれはありなんだと思う。
Huh. Is it because you've always thought of him as a douche that you never made any promises with him that it's okay, even though Rin is his master? And you're partnered with Rin? I haven't made any promises with him from the beginning, so I think it's fair even if he attacked me. You want to allow yourself to think it's fair so you can mentally let yourself dislike him more? You don't mind that he attacks you for that reason, because if anything, you'd want to attack him? Interesting way of putting it.
それはそうですが、まったくシロは不思議ですね。
Saber seems delighted by this notion. That is true, but geez, you are a mystery to me. I guess Saber is very much, you know, from her time, very honor-bound. Having someone she considered like an ally attack her, you know, is a huge betrayal. But in this case, Shiro considers more Rin the ally. And I suppose from Saber's perspective, Archer is working for Rin, so shouldn't Shiro consider that a betrayal? But then she's thinking, no, once again, Shiro's thinking more of servants as their own people. Just like how Shiro said, oh, you have a wish, I want to win for you. And so that's tickling her funny bone a bit. I can see that, I suppose. Because that is what that suggests. I have an alliance with Rin, not necessarily with Archer, which might sound a little stupid and funny. I can see that. I think there's some friendliness in her tone. I mean, of course there is. Did you look at her face?
結論から言うと、私もシロと同じです。キャスターは放置できませんが、アーチャーは非道ではないのでしょう。
Oh, are you sure? I feel the same way as you, Shiro. We cannot let Castor be, but Archer is not cruel.
ちょっと待て。人の話のどこら辺を聞いてたんだよ、セイバー。
Wait, what part of our conversation were you listening to? I mean, you knew to an extent how Kiritsugu was before. I mean, maybe you're like, oh, I'm all along Kiritsugu ended up being a good person, so you learned from that experience, and you're like, then I guess Archer's more or less the same. Is that what you're thinking, Saber? Is that what you think Archer's kind of a good guy? He just is misguided? Is that your mentality? Or what?
すべてです。それを踏まえた上で、私もシロと同意見だと言っています。
Everything. Based on all that I have heard, I'm saying I have the same opinion as you. Oh. So you're saying you agree that Archer attacking me isn't a problem? Him just having an opposing mindset is a problem?
加えて、彼の剣技は清流でした。心によこしまなものがないのでしょう。舞うような剣撃は彼の人格を物語っていると思う。
And his sword technique is a clear stream. He must not have anything evil in his mind. I believe his dance-like techniques indicate his character. You're really that into the idea of the way the person fights will be telling of their character, huh? Dash, dash, dash. I like it even less now. Something's wrong with Saber to praise him. Only I get to fascinate about him for a bit. She doesn't get to do it. I don't like him. I only like his swords. She's not allowed to like any part of him. First of all, Archer's technique is... You thought it was beautiful, you shut up. Oh. No, I was crazy back then. He's like a yogurt that's about to expire compared to Saber. Oh, now that you're given a moment to think healthily, you're like, no, of course not. It was just because I was injured. He's nothing special. You don't want to think that he's anything special compared to Saber, but you do in reality. You do.
何言ってんだ。あいつの剣なんて大したことない。不意打ちしたくせに俺一人殺し損ねたんだぞ。そんなんでよくサーバントを名乗れるってもんだ。
What are you saying? His technique is nothing. He couldn't kill me even when he attacked me by surprise. How can he call himself a servant like that? First of all, you're secretly super special awesome. Second of all, he was probably whiffing on purpose.
ええ。ですからシローも筋がいいのです。長く鍛えればアーチャーに届く技量になりましょう。
Oh. It's because you have talent as well, Shiro. You should be able to be as good as Archer if you train for a long time. Really? In Timeline 1, Saber was like, no, Shiro, you're shit, let me fight. Because, I guess, though, that was more because he was so inclined to thinking that Saber shouldn't fight at all. Whereas here, he never brought up any of that BS, so she's more open to the idea that, hey, yeah, Shiro, you're actually pretty good. Well, how do I get training to be that good? And I mean, be as good as Archer if you train, because I am him in the future and I get that good. But, like, how long do you think it'll take, Saber? Do you think we can get there before the end of the war? I don't think so. Yeah. I can't object if Saber says so with a face like that. So what, do you think Archer was actually trying to kill me? Anyway, it seems Saber approves of Archer's technique. I mean, approves of his sword techniques, approves of his tactic to try to kill me, though? Weird. You're both weird. You're all weird. How old is Archer even? I mean, he's as old as Shiro, plus however long it takes for him to grow up to be Archer's age. I mean, he looks in his young 30s, right? Old 20s, young 30s. I mean, they're summoned in their peak, though. Saber's supposed to be, like, apparently the 18 or some shit, right? I mean, younger, 16? I mean, I know she's mentally older because she aged without aging for a long time. But, like, you know, if we talk about physical age... I don't know why, but I don't like that fact. You don't like that she likes his swordsmanship? She likes his swordsmanship because your swordsmanship, and you don't want to accept that's the same thing. That's why you're trying to avoid it now.
Saber, 俺筋がいいって言ったな。
14-year-old body? Saber does not look 14. She's at least 16. Come on! I can't look at that, and even when you tell me, oh, she's 14, I can't look at that and think, yeah, she looks 14. I don't see it. I don't see it. To be fair, I've always looked young for my age. So maybe I have a skewed idea of how old someone is supposed to look. But, like, I just can't look at her and think, oh, 14. I just can't. I just can't. I just can't.
Hi. 上手れば良い使い手となるでしょう。
Yes, you'll be a good fighter if you train for a long time. No, she's not 14. She's at least 16. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest. I look at her and I see, honestly, like, I'm willing to settle and say 16. But I look at her and I think, yeah, probably 18, 19. But again, I mean, I guess I just have a skewed perspective because I've always looked young for my age, and I don't know. I see someone who looks older than me, and I think, wow, they've got to be, they're probably like 30-something, right? And then I find out, oh, they're like 20. Oh, what? That, you're younger than me? How is that possible? I keep, anyways. You'll be a good fighter if you train for a long time. The VN doesn't show how small she actually is. Well, we've seen her standing next to other people. She looks like she's in her low 20s for me. Yeah, exactly. I look at her and I think 18, 19, 20, maybe 21. But she has the mature gaze. True. As far as height goes, though, I don't know. Maybe I have a skewed perspective because of Fate Zero. But I remember her height not being 14-year-old short. And that's what's the prominent in my mind. But... maybe that was misconstruing me, but I'm going by the misconstrusion.
決めた。なら、傷が治り次第、剣を教えてくれ。
I've decided. Teach me stuff as soon as my wounds heal. And this is something he got from Archer. Archer really instilled, you know, he can have a goal. Teach me stuff as soon as my wounds heal. Teach you what, though? What do you need to be taught? Strengthening and sword birth. I mean, is she just gonna beat you up? Is that all the teaching she's gonna do?
今までみたいな生き残るための鍛錬じゃなくて、戦う方法を教えてほしい。
Alright, not how to survive, but how to fight. I held Saber's hand and stared her directly in the eyes. Well, she said herself that he'll be that good someday. Yeah, sure, does have a goal. Be as good as Archer. Be Archer one day. Saber is a full head shorter than Shiro, who is a full head shorter than Archer. I mean, I believe that Saber is shorter than Archer. I don't deny that. I believe that Archer is a tall person. But, you know, I still don't see her as being so short to be 14. Or looking that young. Anyways, I don't concrete height to age, so it doesn't matter to me. I don't height to age either. It's her appearance as well. But I hold Saber's hand and stare at her directly in her eyes, her beautiful eyes. 14! That makes it creepy. 14! I mean, I guess how old is Shiro? He's like 16 or something, right? They're all 16! 14-year-olds are usually taller. I don't see that at all. I'm used to being shorter! You're right. I do know some teenagers that were really tall when I was a teenager. I was not one. Some short adults. I'm a rather short adult. Shiro is 17, Sakura is 16. Yeah, see, to me, Saber looks older than Sakura. 100%. Every time, always. You'd have to fight to convince me Sakura is older. I wouldn't believe it. But anyways. Enough about age. I mean, I'm not, like, really, really short, but I'm short. I hold Saber's hand and stare at her directly in her eyes. You can't say no now that you're the one who brought it up. Oh, yes. I do not mind if you say so. Alright, I have no complaints if Saber can teach me. I won't make the same mistake I made tonight, and it's not like me to keep running away. The same mistake? What was the mistake exactly? Which part was the mistake, though, I'm wondering? What do you concede as the mistake? Getting caught by Castor? Was that the mistake? Having to be saved by Archer? Was that the mistake? Getting caught off guard by Archer? Was that the mistake? Which is the mistake exactly? More than anything, I cannot lose to that guy who said we needed more victims in order to reduce the number of victims. Yeah, you definitely want to beat that mentality, because that's the mentality Kiritsugu used to have. Oh shit! Day change! Hello, Blade Works. Ghost Waltz. Fun name. Oh boy. A new day. A new Shiro. But yeah, status. Weapons? No, just status. Alright. Okay, assassin, master, caster. We know your name is Sasaki Kojiro. I guess only Saber knows? Sex, male. Oh, it just calls her caster. It doesn't say her name. Well, I mean, we don't know her name, but neutral evil. That is such bullshit. You are such a nice guy. Why do they do this? Why do they call him evil? Presence concealment D. Hides when present as a servant. Settle for spiting. Noble phantasm. We don't know. Luck A. Magical energy E. Strength C. Endurance E. Agility A+. Details. We don't know. Skills. Noble phantasm. Okay. Caster. Do we know anything else? No? What about assassin? Nope, not you. Rider? No, we don't. We've seen what you look like, though. Archer? Anything else? No. No. Alright, I guess that's probably it for now, then. This feels like a good beat to me. I could probably go for like 20 more minutes, but I am a believer in stopping at beats, and this feels like a good beat to me. Day change. So, this was day. We had a fight. We fought Caster. We fought Archer. We're going to have an awkward talk with Rin later on. We got a second skill for Archer? Oh, wait, what? Oh, hold on. Hold the phone. Everyone hold the phone. What? Mind's Eye True B. Oh, okay. Did we already know this or not from the other timeline, or is this the new? Clairvoyant C vision allows clear vision of distant targets and improves body movement and vision. At higher ranks, it allows the servant to see through objects and even through time. Mind's Eye True B. Insight fostered by training. Mind's Eye True B. Wait, what does Saber have for Mind's Eye? She has a Mind's Eye, right? No, she does not. Somebody has a Mind's Eye. Berserker has a Mind's Eye? Mind's Eye Fake B. Avoidance of danger by Sixth Instinct. Does Lancer have Mind's Eye? No, he's got a Restart. Wait, do we have any assassin skills? Oh, we just don't know. Okay. Alright, Mind's Eye True B. Insight fostered by training. So that's why it's true, whereas the other one's is fake. Don't think we got this in Timeline 1. He wasn't present enough, I suppose. Fake means they didn't train for it. Yeah, he had to train to earn it. Berserker just had it for free. A combat logic that allows for calm analysis. This is a skill? Allows for calm analysis of the situation and the enemy's ability in spite of danger, and consideration of all possible actions in particular situation. If there's even a 1% chance of a comeback, this ability greatly improves the chance of success. Sounds about right. See, I don't know about you, but like I'm just getting more and more convinced that Archer is Shiro from the future past. I mean, like, what I'm sure there are other possibilities, but the further we go, we're getting more hints towards it being true, and not many hints saying it's not true. So more and more, I'm starting to believe it. I'm starting to believe Archer and Shiro, they're just the same person. But, could be wrong. Doesn't have to be true. However, that was fun. It was fun. It was fun seeing the full whirlwind of emotions. Archer saves us, and then betrays us. Archer skill. I actually think in combat. That's crazy. Thinking in combat. Shiro's gonna start training now, but Archer doesn't even look like Shiro. He got tanned. You get white hair through stress. Or sound like Shiro. His balls double dropped later on, or behave like Shiro. Yet, it's called character development. And also, there's so many similarities between them. So many. And there's so many ties as well to how, oh, Shiro sees Archer's blades. Oh, it's two of the freaking dudes becoming one. Oh, and then there's so much. But anyways, I've talked all about it. And there's not much pointing to Archer being much of anything else except for maybe an Arthurian knight, but that is so vague. Anyways, for now, we're done. I'll see you guys next time. So, no outro phrase, YouTube video is over. Tomorrow we will start Ghost Waltz, whatever that is. So, see ya, or not tomorrow. On YouTube, it's probably not going to be tomorrow. But tomorrow it is the next day. That is the next day in universe. It might be, tomorrow in streaming, yes. But if YouTube are you watching, it might not be tomorrow. I don't know. I can't read the future. Stop recording.